USC, high school, Buckeyes, Browns, kids in the retention pond. It must be Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Football is good. The Fan. Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get bumpy. Time to attack and dominate. This is Morning Juice with Brandon Beam and Bobby Carpenter.
And here we go on a Football Friday. Attacking and dominating our way to 9 a.m. every single weekday morning right here on The Fan. Brandon Beam, the General Bobby Carpenter, out today enjoying a 3-day weekend. We got our man, Austin Ward, with us. And, of course, our fearless leader and producer, Mark the Shark, A-Ward Sports. Happy Football Friday to you, buddy. What's going on? Good to talk to you.
What a beautiful Football Friday it's shaping up to be.
That's gorgeous.
What a pleasure to be with you, Beamer, to get it kicked off. Can't wait. Huge weekend. Nothing says Big Ten football like November, the Horseshoe, and Purdue.
Noon.
Of course, well, that goes without saying.
It's got to be.
It can't be any other time. The Buckeyes only play at noon.
Of course they do. Got to be a noon game. Got to be a noon game, which I'm looking forward to tomorrow. See how they respond coming off the Penn State game. I think that's the biggest thing I'm going to be looking forward to. Are you going to have a dip, or have you got past the hurdle in Penn State and now you said, all right, you're coming into our building. It's time to treat you like your record indicates.
I think that they're treating Purdue as better than their record indicates, which I actually kind of appreciate. There's been a different mindset, different vibe around the Woody all week long, and they're talking about the opponent more than they have all year, or really than almost any other point that I can remember in Ryan Day's career, where some of this standard is the standard stuff that we talk about all the time becomes, well, this week is only about Ohio State. It is about measuring themselves against themselves, which is a fine approach normally, but I think it has also caused a little bit of the angst when you have not just games like Nebraska, but even you can go back to the season opener. It's like, well, you should have won by more. That's only if you're holding someone to a standard that is not realistic in college football on a week-to-week basis. All you can really do at the end of the day is beat the team that's on the other sideline and treating them like that's the most important thing rather than some arbitrary in-house standard might be better for Ohio State mentally.
Yeah, I've noticed the comments coming out of the Woody this week. Ryan Day has really been talking Purdue up.
Which you can understand as well because they are a bad football team.
They are bad. Now that Ryan Walters during Big Ten Media Day said that we're not the worst team in the Big Ten. They are the worst team in the Big Ten.
You picked us 18th out of 18, huh? Yeah, well, if we could have picked you 19th, we would have.
Yeah, they're not a very good football team. Maybe the worst in the Power Four. Like maybe the worst football team in the Power Four conference.
It's up there. I mean, Vanderbilt's good at football now.
Yeah, exactly. So is Indiana. That's crazy. We're living in crazy land. Super looking forward to that game coming up here as well. We got an awesome show lined up for you here this morning. We're going to hear from Ryan Day coming up here in our next segment. Made his final comments of the week during his coach's show yesterday, 6:35. Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. He's going to join us. We'll guide you through the weekend from a wagering perspective with him. Coming up here, busy 7 o'clock hour. 7:20 this morning. Usually reserved for Jackets insider Jeff Svoboda. They're in California. Rick Nash is not. The Nasher, number 61, director of hockey operations now for the Blue Jackets. He's going to join us at 7:20. It's a Freaky Friday. You're in here. Bob is off, but Bob's going to call us at 7:33. So we'll check in with the general coming up here at 7:33 this morning. 8:05, wasn't able to join yesterday. Albert Breer, MMQB, coming up at 8:05. And then at 8:33, AJ Hawk. So we got all kinds of stuff to get into here today on what should be an awesome Friday. Before we hop into anything else today, it is Friday, the 8th day of November, 2024. Time for Today in History.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Mark the Shark.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, Sharky. Happy Friday to you, Professor.
Happy Friday. It's our favorite day of the week, obviously. Love Fridays here, and on this date in history, well, I should tell you that today is the 8th day of November. Back in 1731, United States wasn't even a country yet. We were just 13 colonies, but Ben Franklin opened the first library in the colonies in Philadelphia. 1789, Elijah Craig distilled the first bourbon whiskey from corn in the town of
Frankfort.
Bourbon, Kentucky.
Okay.
1864, Abraham Lincoln was elected to a second term as president. He ran against George McClellan and won 212 electoral votes to just 21 for McClellan. 1887, gunslinger, gambler, dentist, Doc Holliday died from tuberculosis, most famous for participating in the shootout at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona with his buddy Wyatt Earp. Holliday died at a sanitarium in Glenwood Springs, Colorado at the age of 36. I don't have audio from 1887, but I do have this clip from the movie with Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday on his deathbed.
Say goodbye to me. Go grab that spirited actress, make her your own. Take that beauty and run. Don't look back. Live every second. Live for me. Boy, if you ever my friend, if you ever had even the slightest feeling for me, leave now. Leave now. Please.
Thanks for always being there, Doc.
And then he died. I don't know.
Spoiler alert.
How did they get the dialogue to be able to put it in the movie? How did they know?
I don't know. I doubt if they do. They Hollywooded that thing up. I'm not sure if that's exactly how it happened. In 1889, on this date, Montana was admitted as the 41st state of the Union. 1900, Margaret Mitchell was born in Atlanta. Who is she? Margaret Mitchell.
I got nothing for you.
At the age of 36, she wrote a little book called Gone with the Wind.
All right, nice.
Okay.
Sold 1 million copies in its first 6 months in print. 8 million by the time Mitchell died in 1949. And now Gone with the Wind has sold more than 33 million copies. In 1939, it became a movie.
Oh, Red, please don't go. You can't leave me, please. I'll never forgive you.
I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'll never understand or forgive myself. And if a bullet gets me, so help me, I'll laugh at myself for being an idiot. There's one thing I do know, and that is that I love you, Scarlett. In spite of you and me and the whole silly world going to pieces around us, I love you. Scarlett, look at me. I love you more than I've ever loved any woman. And I've waited longer for you than I've ever waited for any woman. Here's a soldier of the South who loves you, Scarlett. Wants to feel your arms around him. Wants to carry the memory of your kisses into battle with him.
Never seen it.
Clearly, none of those 33 million copies were sold to me or Beam.
No, haven't read it. Never seen it.
Never saw that movie, huh? All right.
Do you recommend it?
If you're a fan of World War I and or World War I, if you're a fan of the Civil War, hello.
Lots of people are fans of wars.
Well, that's a good point. If you're a fan of history, let's say that, and you want to see Atlanta burn, then go see Gone with the Wind. The American League approved the move of the A's from Philadelphia to Kansas City in 1954. 1960, 43-year-old John F. Kennedy becomes the youngest man ever to be elected president, narrowly beating Republican Vice President Richard Nixon. JFK was also the first Catholic to become president. This is his victory speech.
To all Americans, I say that the next 4 years are going to be difficult and challenging years for us all. The election may have been a close one, but I think that there is general agreement by all of our citizens that a supreme national effort will be needed in the years ahead to move this country safely through the 1960s. I ask your help, and I can assure you that every degree of mind and spirit that I possess will be devoted to the long-range interest of the United States. So now my wife and I prepare for a new administration and for a new baby. Thank you.
What number president was JFK?
He was number 35. He is, as I said, the youngest president ever elected. Do you know who the oldest president ever elected is?
Joe Biden.
Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Just this week.
That's right. A little bit.
I think
78.
I think when he has the inauguration, he'll be like 139 days older than Biden.
Okay.
Something
Got
like
it.
1966, movie actor Ronald Reagan elected governor of California. 1988, Vice President George H.W. Bush was elected president, defeating Democrat Michael Dukakis. 1999, the 19th James Bond movie, The World Is Not Enough, premiered, starring Pierce Brosnan and Denise Richards. 2002, the movie 8 Mile, starring Eminem, Brittany Murphy, and Kim Basinger, was released.
When I feel blue, don't know what to do, I look at you and I just say, good night, baby, go to sleep.
You're still at that Little Caesars over in Warren?
Nah, I'm down in New Detroit stamping now.
You got fired from a pizza place.
Yo, at least I got a job.
Up, down.
Late again, Smith, and you're fired.
You know that everybody's calling you a loser?
You ever wonder at what point you gotta stop living up here and start living down here?
You ever see that one?
I have seen that one multiple times.
Papa Doc went to private school. Did you know that?
Shark, have you ever seen that movie?
Of course I've seen that movie.
All right, good for you.
Great movie.
When Eminem, he was at the post-Saturday F1 concert. He was one of the main event. When he played Lose Yourself, that place went explosive.
Great.
I'd like to play that right now, but not allowed.
You only get 10 seconds.
Austin can do karaoke for it.
I could do it. I could probably do the entire soundtrack for you.
Birthdays today. Bram Stoker, born in 1847. He wrote Dracula. Florida State coach Bobby Bowden, born in 1929, died 3 years ago. Singer Bonnie Raitt, 75, 10-time Grammy winner, Grammy Award winner. You know what song she sang?
No.
Maybe they're seeing something we don't, darling. Let's give them something to talk about.
I do know this song.
You did know it.
I knew you'd know that.
Talk about love,
Now you
know.
know.
For about a month and a half.
Bonnie Raitt.
You just won your first Grammy.
I did. Thank you very much.
Actress Tara Reid is 49. Former Heisman winner Sam Bradford is 37. Yankee slugger Giancarlo Stanton, the former Michael Stanton, is 35. And that's what I have for you boys today on this 8th day of November.
Good job on that, Sharky. As always, Thursday Night Football was awesome last night. Was absolutely awesome last night.
Come on.
I'm just saying I was cheering for the Bengals, but from a production standpoint and the close game standpoint, it's everything that you wanted. 35-34, Ravens get it done. Now, what wasn't awesome was how on basically the last play of the game, the 2-point conversion, that there was multiple holding calls and a roughing the passer, illegal hands to the face on Joe Burrow. That was not called.
Feels, wild to just say, oh, this only happens to the Bengals, but it seems to only happen to the Bengals over and over and over at the end of games. And I don't even know why they were in that situation. I think people were, Al Michaels was, this is a good opportunity to be aggressive for Zach Taylor. Just don't let Lamar get the ball back and all that. Like, the rules in NFL overtime are different, right? Like, play the game out. I don't understand this need to try and win at the end of regulation.
Yeah, but the last time that they did that in overtime, Derrick Henry busted off that huge run to get him into field goal range to seal the deal. Hindsight's always 20/20. We had just talked about it on Monday coming off of the Chiefs-Bucks game, and now here we are, opposite side of the coin. You go for two, and it ultimately you don't convert it.
I suppose that I may just not be inclined to give Zach Taylor the benefit of the doubt.
I think you are in your right reservations to not be able to do that at this point of the season. Donovan Jackson's move to tackle is going to be a huge development for this Buckeye football team. We're going to get into that next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there and good morning. Right now, police still working to clear up an incident on 161 right near Sunbury Road. Expect those westbound lanes to be impacted as you're coming into 270. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
Thanksgiving can be stressful when you're shopping on a budget. Let Family Dollar help you do more this year with amazing deals on the supplies you need for a great turkey day, from prep to cleanup. See how you could save on Thanksgiving staples like canned soups and veggies, or essentials such as disposable plates and utensils, trash bags, storage supplies, and more. For even greater savings, download the Family Dollar app, clip available offers, and redeem at checkout. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Now, in our last session, you said you were hearing noises.
Terrible noises.
Tell me more.
Same time every morning.
Can you describe them?
Well, it starts like yee and then turns into woo woo woo.
Indeed. And does it also come with a
That's exactly what it is. How did you know, Doctor?
This is a symptom of not having an Apex Pros water heater.
Doctor, I know my husband, and he would never.
And the sound then goes yip yip woo woo woo. I'm writing you a prescription for an Apex Pros water heater.
You really think this will help?
Apex Pros, the pros who knows. First you doubt me, then you doubt the pros who knows.
I'm not doubting. I just didn't think my husband would make such
The unnecessary suffering of surprise cold water. I've seen it 1,000 times. Apex Pros even has tankless solutions that provide never-ending warm water.
Wow.
The crazy sounds will go away by tomorrow. Now here's my bill. Now about that sound.
It's Alex, the Apex Bear. We are the pros who knows, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with savings with new low prices on hundreds of your favorite produce items like pineapples, avocados, navel oranges, and lettuce at your neighborhood Giant Eagle.
Open a Platinum Rewards Visa at Kemba Financial Credit Union and secure super low everyday rates so you can pay down debt faster. Apply now at Kemba.org to unlock 2% cash back on purchases for a limited time and pay 0% interest for a full year on balance transfers plus exclusive perks. Restrictions apply. Offer ends October 31st, 2024.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Tailgating this weekend? Schmitz Catering has you covered. Schmitz will cater your neighborhood party or company tailgate and handle all the heavy lifting. They can even grill for you at your location. Schmitz is the perfect way to celebrate this football season with their delicious Bahama Mamas, sausages, cream puffs, and more. Let Schmitz bring their hoss to yours. Check out their full catering menu at schmidthoss.com. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through December 2nd, you can lease a Camry LE from just $269 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Hey folks, it's game day and the betting's gonna be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right, you gotta pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Beautiful day out there today. Highs in the low 60s. Clear but cold tonight as we drop down to 39. Partial sunshine on your Saturday. We will see increasing clouds late in the day. High 61. Rain and wind on your Sunday with a high of 65. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You're listening to Rob Manfred's least favorite radio show. This is Morning Juice.
Coming up here, 6:33 this morning, Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. He's going to join the program. Will guide us through the football league weekend from a wagering perspective. I will say this, just talking about the Bengals game from last night. I don't know how much Jamar Chase's contract is going to be, but the Bengals didn't do themselves any favor by waiting another year to be able to sign him to a contract extension.
The price is going up.
Yeah, it is, because last night, I mean, he was spectacular. Like, that's a guy who's worth most money in NFL history for his position. 11 catches, 264, 3 touchdowns.
Well, if we know anything, it's that the Bengals never lose a negotiation. Mm-mm. So it was probably, great decision for them. How did it go for them the last time that Jamar Chase was unhappy with his contract?
Not good.
Not good. Okay, great. Well, never mind then. because the guy's awesome.
Yeah.
And they're also wasting Joe Burrow right now.
Yep.
It is maddening to watch what they're doing. Joe Burrow, Berm said this to me the other day. He's a huge Bengals fan.
I'm seeing the tweets.
You're aware.
I'm seeing the tweets from him.
I mean, he's saying that Joe Burrow should be the MVP no matter what is going on with Patrick Mahomes or Jaden Daniels, because the Bengals would never win a game without Joe Burrow. And I think that that's probably a fair point.
It is a fair point. Like, their defense, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Last night wasn't very good in particular. Let Lamar do Lamar things to him. Didn't have an incomplete pass in the fourth quarter. Noticed that up on the big board. But, yeah, they're just having trouble. I mean, they're losing all kinds of different ways, and they just can't close out a game. They can't do it. For whatever reason, they just can't.
Setting aside all of the penalties that were not called on the two-point conversion, trying to win the game when you have Jamar Chase, you're like, you know what would be fun? Throwing to a backup tight end. Let's see if this works.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Come on, man. I don't know. It's just frustrating to watch them. But it doesn't matter because the weekends are for the Buckeyes.
They are for the Buckeyes, and Ryan Day was having his coach's show yesterday, and I thought this to be interesting. So we knew going into the week last week that Ohio State was going to have a shakeup on the offensive line, and we did see that. And for the most part, I mean, it was really good. Carson Hinsman slots in at left guard. Donovan Jackson moves over from the left guard spot to the left tackle spot. Got beat a couple of times by Abdul Carter. That guy's a first-round NFL draft guy. Like, that's going to happen more times than not. I don't care if you're an All-American level offensive tackle. Like, he's going to win some of those reps. And Donovan Jackson did a really nice job of that. And here was Ryan Day just kind of talking about that position change for him and how that went last week and hopefully how it goes moving forward.
And he stepped up in a big way. And, you know, we knew there was going to be just some times where we had to put him out there against them, and we didn't want to be in that situation. And looking back, but when you're chipping, you're giving something to get something. That's just how it goes. Yep. And we tried to help him the best we could with it. I thought he battled his tail off in that game. And so, you know, now, like you said, you know, playing in space is a little bit different. You know, we've talked about cutting his weight just a little bit to be able to move his feet a little bit more. It's a different position. But he has the athleticism. He does have the length to play it. So watching him, like, he can play tackle. You know, it's not like we're just taking a guard and, like, you know, trying to put a square peg in a round hole or vice versa. I mean, he can do it, but it's a different skill set. It's a different approach. You know, you get like guys with more length, like you said, a 6'6" guy coming at you, trying to get his hands on you. So the more he does it, the more he's going to be able to, you know, feel more comfortable doing it. And we'll continue to try to give him help. But I think the more he does it, the more you're going to see a high level of play because, you know, he did it in a really difficult situation. So the more he does it, the better it'll be.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the Oregon game, it's the most difficult situation on your schedule, and I thought he passed the test with flying colors.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, maybe more daunting than Oregon. Yeah. It's maybe 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Both teams have good pass rushers, but Penn State, the strength of their team really was in their defensive front and Abdul Carter. So with the 111,030 people there, the noise, the situation, having never started there before, that's the ultimate frying pan. Like, that's as tough as it gets. So,
and especially to the way that the game started.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, that place was, and I was going to say ready to erupt. It was erupting.
The press box was about to fall off the side of the stadium. So the erector set was shaking. And the way that they all bounced back and the way that Donovan Jackson kept fighting is a huge deal. And it wasn't just him because you also had Carson Hinsman making his first start at guard next to him. So the whole left side of the line is dealing with things that they didn't expect. I thought that Ohio State did a great job scheming things up to avoid the pressure. You saw some of the speed option looks, some of the misdirection, so that you didn't have to necessarily go out there and win every rep one-on-one, which Donovan Jackson was not going to do and Carson Hinsman was not going to do. But I think a lot has been made of Donovan Jackson's game there, which was good enough to win.
Yep.
Which is what matters. But now you have 2 weeks before Indiana and Michigan where you have to assume, as you said, being like that was for a debut, that doesn't get much tougher. Now you can actually maybe get comfortable and work on some things against Purdue and Northwestern that maybe by the end of the month he's a lot more comfortable at tackle, or the same is true for Carson Hinsman at guard, who, you know, he really, for someone who started every game last year except for the Cotton Bowl, his play had, and his run blocking in particular, had declined throughout the course of the year. If you look at the PFF grades, and you take them with a grain of salt always, but he had a 63 last week against Penn State. He only had 3 grades higher than that in all of last year when he was playing at center, and they were all in the first month of the season. So this is a different version of Carson Hinsman now. He's older. He's got more experience. He was an Iron Buckeye in the offseason. Both of those guys are going to have that same opportunity for the next 2 weeks. It's a big deal for them.
Yeah, and it was the same kind of thing that we were talking about with Zen Mahalski, right? Like, it's not going to be a finished product week number 1, and it's both the same for Carson Hinsman and Donovan Jackson, that you want to see some growth here in this Purdue week. You want to see some growth in Northwestern next week when you get to Wrigley. And then for the last 2 games of the year, both of them being at home against the Hoosiers and, of course, the Wolverines in the last weekend in November. So that's something that you're looking forward to, that it's not a finished product, but the returns so far have been promising. So we're going to need to see some more out of those guys the first couple of weeks. Next couple of weeks when they get their next starts tomorrow coming up against the Boilermakers. How about, and Tim and I were talking about this on the postgame show. Bob and I were talking about it on Monday when we were in here. The little things that the running backs do right, and it's not just Quinshawn and Trey, like when they get some space or making some nice cuts to be able to get like 5 yards out of a carry that they should only get 2. What about the blocking that these guys are doing right now?
There was some blitz pickups that were tremendous. Again, 32 was just strong in protection, but then to see him, and the sick thing was, we ended up fumbling the ball on the 2-yard line, but the block he made on that, I mean, he flattened the guy, and it's just, again, a mindset, same foot, same shoulder, and just finishing those things and playing really well without the ball in your hand. And I think both Travion and Quinshawn have taken pride in that this season.
They have, and I mean, this has been a few times now for Travion, because remember back to the JJ touchdown at Michigan State, like he picked up that blitzer and smoked him, which allowed Will Howard, which allowed Devin Brown to deliver that ball to Jeremiah Smith. And then I believe on the last drive, Austin, where they chewed up 50 yards in 5 minutes and 13 seconds off the clock, I think it was Q on the quarterback run left on Will Howard where he cracked the guy as well. So it's not only that these guys are buying in what they're doing in and out of the run game, it's also the ability for them to contribute the little things, which I think is going to be super important for them as they get into this month of November.
It's really impressive. And I told Travion that on Saturday. He's heading towards the bus, and I grabbed him for the notebook. I'm like, hey, you make me nervous with the way that you throw your body around on these blocks. He's
Built different.
Got to do everything for your team. And there was a time, even 2 years ago, the last time Ohio State was at Penn State, he's making a play on that broken foot, and we were wondering what was going on, and there was a lot of questioning about his toughness and could he play through things. I mean, that just seems laughable now. The toughness has always been there for him, and he's doing everything for Ohio State.
Lee Sterling at ParamountSports.com. He's going to join us. We'll guide you through the weekend of your footballing weekend from a wagering perspective with him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are still watching westbound lanes impacted because of an overnight shooting on 161 on the northeast side. We've got those lanes shut down right at Sunbury Road. Expect to be very slow moving into 270. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Football is all about winning, and so is the Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. With 4 dealerships and a collision center, we've got everything you need to stay game day ready. Don't forget our Carvenience service, the most convenient way to service your vehicle. We pick it up, drop off a rental, and we bring it back to you when it's done. Plus, every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Hinderer Motor Company, where convenience and confidence meet. Visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. Remember that day I invented the everything bagel? That was a heck of a day, Jerry. I was right there in line.
Get Eco.
I saw the onion bagel and the poppy seed bagel and the sesame bagel, and I thought, imagine if one bagel could give you everything you need. You changed the world that day, Jerry.
Get Eco.
I think Eco is just like that for homeowners in Ohio. Plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians. One company, one call, everything you need.
Get Eco.
Eco is a complete ecosystem of home services all under one roof.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Big things, small things, projects that require a little of this and that. Eco has the whole ecosystem equally covered.
Get Eco.
What if one day someone comes up with a new thing you can put on a bagel?
Well, I've already patented everything, Aaron. Nobody can claim everything plus one.
You're a wise man, Jerry.
I'm making a fortune, Aaron.
Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get...
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Join our resident gambling degenerates Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money Sunday morning at 9.
Presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
All the action, none of the responsibility. The Fan.
Okay, name? Occupation? Great. You get a brand new Kia. For less than lunch. Under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
Is that a turkey?
Of course. We're talking turkey. With event pricing and the credit approve-a-thon.
Wow, and new Kias are less than lunch?
Yes, under $5 a day. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorrento LX. All three under $5 a day.
Wow, that's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
He just got an EV6 with 0% financing.
Lucky goose.
Turkey.
Turkey, right. But I'd never get approved.
If you've got a job, you ride.
You guys are great.
Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
GreatLakesKia.com.
You're such a ham.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
If this show made a scented candle, it would smell like bad coffee, unwashed jockstrap, and grass clippings.
I wasn't sure how you take your coffee.
You're listening to Morning Juice.
So, mouth or enema?
Hey, coming up 1 hour away from right now, Austin Ward, who's in studio with us this morning. You usually join us at 7:30.
I sure do.
On Friday. That's reserved for you. But you're in here. Bobby is off. It's a Freaky Friday. Bob is going to join us at 7:33.
I love it.
As we
trading places.
We'll ask him his score prediction coming up here at that time too. Ask him all things that are going on with the Buckeyes. It'll be you grilling him and asking him questions.
That's actually going to be way more insightful than talking to me.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So he's coming up here 7:33 this morning. As for now, as we do every single Football Friday, we check in with our great friend of ParamountSports.com. He is Lee Sterling. Lee, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. Coming off a bit of a down week. That's all right. We still got plenty of time here in the month of November. Let's get you kicked off tonight here in the Big Ten, a traditional showdown of Big Ten rivals. You got Iowa heading out to the beautiful city of Los Angeles, California, taking on UCLA. Hawkeyes, 6-point favorite in that one, Lee.
Well, I will say that UCLA, I thought they were dead. I thought this was a team that, who knows, even after, making the change at head coach, we're going to maybe even fire him. But all of a sudden they found themselves. I mean, the last 2 games, believe it or not, they've scored over 20 points after not even hitting that mark to begin the season. The biggest problem, though, still with this team is they can't run the football. 7 of 8 games, under 100 rushing yards. And in the end, that usually will doom you. So I think Iowa has found a quarterback here. Overs, surprisingly, for Iowa, 8-1 against the spread this year, 21-23. The unders were 21-6. So things have turned around. Not saying they have a great passing game, but it has improved. I just think they're going to control both lines of the scrimmage, and that'll be the difference here. Iowa, 27-20.
Lee, there's plenty of intrigue around here. This Indiana team in Ohio State plays the Hoosiers and the Wolverines back-to-back at the end of November, so people will be looking for that. And this is, I think, probably a fascinating matchup for Indiana because when you look at that strength of the schedule, they've not really played anyone who, for all of Michigan's weaknesses offensively, they at least have high-level athletes out there, and maybe their most physical challenge of the year. So the Hoosiers, I think, 14-point favorites right now.
Yep.
How are you seeing this one shake out?
Yeah, and I think Indiana's finally getting some respect, finally. They, I had a friend over last Saturday, and he had bet Michigan State, and he said to me when they were up 10-0, well, looks like the Hoosiers are going down. Well, he went into the kitchen, made a big deli sandwich. I think he made a Reuben, and he came back in, and they were trailing. Another 30, 40 minutes, they were down 40-10, a 40-0 run. So I think that this Indiana offense is really good. I thought Rourke was going to take him some time after the surgery to be able to hit on all cylinders. He looks great again here. Michigan can't score. It scored 12 points against Texas, 7 against Illinois, 17 against Oregon, and I think they played about as well as they can play. I think they're played out. I think they're just playing out the string right now. I like Indiana. I'm not stepping in front of this Hoosier bus. Indiana, 34-13.
Hey, as Kurt Signetti said, Google me. You'll find it out. He is Lee Sterling at ParamountSports.com with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Big one down in the SEC on Saturday, Lee. It's a 7:30 tilt. It is Bama traveling to Death Valley to take on LSU. I believe 2.5 now to Bama, 3 in some places. How do we see this one? A big showdown, basically a college football playoff eliminator game in the SEC.
Yeah, because whoever loses has 3 losses. It would be very, very tough. Too many things I think would have to happen for them to get back in to the playoff. In 2022, it was an instant classic. LSU won that game in overtime on the touchdown pass and then the conversion. LSU is a perfect 13-0, last 13 games in Baton Rouge, and this is going to be a night game. I don't think Kalen DeBoer even realized how tough some of these road games are going to be. Being in the Pac-12, yeah, going to Oregon was tough, but nothing like Tennessee and LSU back-to-back. I think Jalen Milroe is going to have to be perfect running and throwing the football, and his passing has just been up and down. I think the wrong team is favored here. LSU 28-24 over Alabama, straight up.
Ooh.
Yep.
So long for Alabama in that playoff conversation. God, nice knowing you. What's going to happen on Saturday in the Horseshoe League? The Buckeyes are 38-point favorites. Seems like they found some juice last week in Happy Valley. That's a pretty big number, though.
It is, and that's why I probably won't be giving games like that out to my clients. And you got to give a team credit. Usually when you throw a pick six, you only have about a 15% chance in college football to win the game. But they came back and just slowly, methodically controlled the line of scrimmage. I just thought they were the better team. It wasn't even close. I mean, Penn State fans will say, yeah, we could have tied it up. The play calling was poor at the end. But bottom line was they got 2 turnovers, and one was a pick six, and they still couldn't win. Now, moving on to Buckeyes, Tim Breer to Purdue. Watch and look at each player on the Purdue defense. Take note, because you will never see them after they graduate. This might be the worst defense, and Purdue's had some bad ones. They're slow, they can't tackle, and they can't defend here. Ohio State, I think they win this game here, 51-7.
Ooh, big-time victory in the Horseshoe on Saturday afternoon, which is going to be an awesome day for us. Yeah, if you have those problems on defense, Lee, it seems like it's going to be a problem anytime that you come in here to Columbus.
You can rectify it if you can somehow sneak on maybe 14 or 15 guys on the field.
Yeah, I'll do a little Dan Lanning action for you right there. All right, Lee, before we ask what's going to go on in this Sunday night game, because we got the Lions visiting the Texans, what do we got going on the website right now?
Yep. So if they want to check out the website, a couple things. We've never done 2 promotions in one weekend. You can get the Baker's Dozen, which is 13 games Saturday and Sunday. That is just $97. We've won 10 of the last 12 times we put this promotion out. We've had some 12-1, 11-2, 10-3 records on this. I think 4 of the last 12 times. So Baker's Dozen, 13 games, just $97. Or you can get the rest of the month, not November, 4 weeks of our phone service where we rate the games from 10 to 50 units, just $297. ParamountSports.com is the place. And going back to that Detroit-Houston game, I looked this up and I was shocked. I thought that Kansas City over the last 20, 30 years would have had the best spread record. Turns out it is the Detroit Lions the last 4 years, 42-17. Wow. And what really jumped out last week against Green Bay. Not just that didn't turn the ball over, did not have a drop by their running backs, tight ends, or receivers, where Green Bay had 6. It was their first outdoor game of the year. Houston, they got problems. They got weaknesses. They have some good players, but weaknesses, which I think Detroit will exploit. And they also get back Williams at receiver. I like Detroit here, 31-24.
All right, that's perfect. Sunday Night Football. We also got a free play going on, Lee. This is more of a traditional Big Ten matchup. We got Minnesota and Rutgers, which I know that there'll be a lot of eyeballs on this one.
Traditional-ish.
Yeah, I guess traditional-ish. You're right.
14. Anyone wants to get Minnesota and Rutgers? First 10 callers to call, 800-400-9741. They'll get it for free. First 10 callers, 800-400-9741. Get Minnesota and Rutgers on me, and should be another fun weekend as we keep setting up, get closer to the college football playoffs.
It's great. It's a perfect time of the year. How are we feeling about your Canes traveling to Georgia Tech?
I think they'll win. You know, if I had to take a side, probably look to Georgia Tech. Haynes Ward, it looks like, is trending towards playing, and he's a really good dual-athlete quarterback, can run and throw. But Miami's going to, they still got a little payback. Mario does for not taking the knee last year, so that could factor into that game. But they just want to, win and advance and be kind of fun. If Miami and Ohio State were both in, could get in the top 4 for the playoff, just don't want once the playoffs start.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand it. Lee, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning, buddy. Have a fantastic weekend. Always appreciate it. We'll check in again next Friday, all right?
You too, Beamer. Take care. Nice meeting you, Austin. Yep. Take care.
There he goes. Our good friend Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We say 56-7? 51-7?
51-7.
51-7. That's a big, bold prediction.
I think he put it right at the total, too. I don't think he took a side on it.
Is it a 58 total?
Yeah, I think it's 58. I'd have to look.
He knows what he's doing.
He's not an accident.
1 NFL quarterback's on record pace through the first half of the season. We'll do that in Quick Hitters next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, still watching major delays on the northeast side on 161. Heading westbound, we've got a police investigation and a crash cruiser working to clear up. Expect to be slow moving coming in from the Newark, New Albany area. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100.
Thanksgiving can be stressful when you're shopping on a budget. Let Family Dollar help you do more this year with amazing deals on the supplies you need for a great turkey day, from prep to cleanup. See how you could save on Thanksgiving staples like canned soups and veggies, or essentials such as disposable plates and utensils, trash bags, storage supplies, and more. For even greater savings, download the Family Dollar app, clip available offers, and redeem at checkout. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Combat falling interest rates now. Lock in a 7-month certificate from Kemba Financial Credit Union and earn up to 4.5% annual percentage yield. Visit Kemba.org for details. Hurry! This exceptional rate offer expires December 31st, 2024. APY equals annual percentage yield. Restrictions apply. $500 minimum deposit required to open and earn stated APY and $250,000 maximum deposit. Advantage status required. Federally insured by NCUA.
Attention small business or sole proprietors. Do you want to save money on health care for your business? Be able to cover your employees with the best dental, doctors, and hospitals? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter for the SACA Benefit Plan. Nearly 100,000 members strong in the state of Ohio. The SACA Benefit Plan is administered by Anthem and could be right for you. Small businesses, visit 844-medohio.com. That's medohio.com. The SACA Benefit Plan could be right for you. Visit 844-medohio.com.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff. One station isn't enough. Find even more Pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2, or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Hey Columbus, Caden Curry here, Ohio State student athlete for Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. When it comes to hard work, whether on the field or the farm, I need something that's as tough and reliable as I am. That's why I trust Kubota diesel tractors from Green & Sons. Kubota's diesel tractor motors are high-powered, reliable, and don't stop running, just how I like to play. So when you're serious about getting the job done, you need the Kubota equipment you can trust from Green & Sons. Check them out at greenandsons.com or stop by one of their stores in Mount Sterling and in Raymond, north of Marysville.
I'm Rick Reichard. Get Black Friday pricing now at Reichard Ford, because we're dealing. Everyone knows that Black Friday is a wild time to buy a car. Reichard Ford learned from last year, so we've already dropped our prices. Fresh incentives from Ford have just been announced, so guess what? You want the best Black Friday selection? You want super sale Black Friday pricing? You want to skip the Black Friday insanity? Well, you get all that this week at #1 Reichard Ford. New 2024 F-150s available with 1.9% APR financing. Or get up to $8,000 off of MSRP. Save up to $10,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Broncos. 100 to choose from. Beat the crowd, save more money, shop the best selection at Reichard Ford's pre-Black Friday sale. The largest volume Ford dealer in Ohio at Route 33 and Hamilton Road, 2 minutes off 270, and at ReichardFord.com. Based on 2023 Ford report for total new retail sales. Cincinnati region offers end 12/2 on approved credit. Come in now, because we're dealing.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here for my friends at Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, but they are also much more than that. They help men and women who are experiencing things like low energy, low libido, muscle loss, and weight gain. Turn it all around. You can feel amazing and live better, just like I can. It can be delivered right to your door, which is tremendous. Semaglutide for weight loss and testosterone and hormone replacement therapy for so much more. I've been a customer for years, and it works. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It is going to be a beautiful Friday. Sunshine, high 63. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 61. If you're heading off to the OSU game at the Shoe, it should be a beautiful day for that. Rain moves in on Sunday with a high of 65. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Chevy.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Bobby played football for Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. Beamer played football for a drunk named Joe who worked at the gas station. You're listening to Morning Juice.
We're on the Juice, brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com. Got our man Austin Ward filling in for Bob today, but we're going to check in with Bob coming up here at 7:33 this morning.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sharky, yeah. Happy Football Friday.
Sharky reporting to duty for Quick Hitters, and despite playing on a Super Bowl contender, Jared Goff of the Lions kind of continues to fly under the radar when you talk about the great NFL quarterbacks, but he could set an all-time NFL record this season. Now, still got a long way to go. We're only about halfway through, but Goff's completion percentage at the moment is at 74.9%. No quarterback in NFL history has ever completed 3/4 of his passes in a season. The record Beamer belongs to Drew Brees, who in 2018 completed 74.4% of his passes.
Yeah, like 97% of those passes were completed to Michael Thomas.
And 97% of those were slants.
Yeah, they were. And he caught 100% of them. I don't know if he ever dropped a ball.
That's a
down
lot
there
of
in New
Football
Orleans.
Friday math right there.
That is. There's too much. That was too much math. That's the only math we're going to do on this show.
Yeah.
Today for the remainder. Jared Goff's, listen, when he was traded from the Rams over to Detroit, everybody, including us, are like, the Rams won this trade, they won this trade, and they ultimately got the payoff pitch, right? They did it. They got it done over the Bengals in that Super Bowl. Sorry, Bengals fans, it's a tough morning for you.
Stop it.
I know, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But they got the payoff pitch. They got the Super Bowl. You can immediately say, okay, it doesn't matter what you gave up, you won that trade. What the Lions have done with those draft picks and with Jared Goff, they signed him to a contract extension, so that was great. It's just this like Castaway Island of misfit toys, and they're making it work. And Dan Campbell comes in talking about biting kneecaps off and being a total meatball. But his team loves him. That city loves him. People around the NFL love him. I love watching them play. I mean, they are awesome. And Jared Goff is a huge reason of that. And I give him a lot of credit, too, because it looked like he was going to be a first-round guy, number 1 overall draft pick. Kind of going to be a bust, but he has rebuilt himself in Detroit. They are fantastic, and he is a large reason in that.
Both teams won the trade. One was looking for short-term boost, and they got it from Matt Stafford, and the Lions were, which I thought was the most questionable part of the deal at that time, was like, is this the long-term play? You want to build around Jared Goff? Like that, at this point in his career, as long as he's already been in the NFL, you pretty much know what the ceiling is, or at least he's thought so, because Jared Goff has completely altered the trajectory of his career. He's playing at a higher level in Detroit than he ever did in Los Angeles. And it's fun to watch. It's good for him. Like, I don't have any affinity for the Lions, but as you said, the way that they play the game, the toughness, the creativity, the aggression, all of it, like, they are I never would have imagined Detroit being one of the most fun teams to watch in the league, but they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have any affinity for them either, but I can't help myself when they're on TV. I'm like, wow, I have to watch them play. Like, it's that good of a product that they're putting up there in Detroit right now.
I have an affinity for Jahmyr Gibbs because he's on my fantasy team.
There you go. Everyone can have a pathway in.
Yeah. You
have the lowest amount of touches in his career last week against Green Bay.
You did. Thanks, Bean.
And they still won.
After the Florida Gators were clobbered in early season games against Miami and Texas and A&M, we all kind of assumed that Billy Napier would lose his head coaching job at Florida at the end of the season, if not before that. We all assumed wrongly. Napier is 15-18 in his third season with the Gators, 4-4 this season. Yesterday, Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland supported his coach in a letter that asked fans to stand behind Billy while we work to build a championship program, and then added that he is confident Napier will meet the challenges and opportunities ahead. What he didn't mention, A-Dub, is that the buyout for Napier would be $26 million, which would be the second largest in NCAA history, behind only Jimbo's going away present at A&M.
Yeah, I mean, that's the conversation now, which I'm fascinated to see if this becomes more prevalent with the coaching market and the carousel. What is a better use of $26 million? If every college football program, every big-time college football program is starting to pay $20 million a year in revenue sharing to the athletes, well, if you gave $26 million to the coach to go away, do you have the $20 million to spread around for the roster? Should you be investing that or finding other ways to engage with collectives and NIL to build a roster that you can put around them? And I'm not saying that Billy Napier can definitely take one of those rosters and win at a high level, but he's got a better shot than if you start over and you don't have the money to spend on players for the next coach coming in. Like, how much of this financial conversation is going to change across college football? Is it going to lead to more patience? Is that better for long-term building of programs? Probably so. And I think that at Florida, this would have been the third straight coach to not go to 4 years. You can't build a program that way. You have to have some patience.
Muschamp went 11, 12, 13, 14, and then you had McElwain go 15, 16, 17. Mullen went 18, 19, 20, got fired in 21, and then Billy Napier has come out. This is his third year now. He's 25 and 11. Not only to your point about the buyout and how much the university would have to pay to them, and then roster management with the $20 million directly to the athletes as well. I mean, you're also talking about then having to pay a new contract, which would be large for a coach that is willing to take over that job. So, I mean, it's really
and they probably have a buyout in their contract.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're paying like 150% of not just the buyout number. It is way more than that. So I'm with you. I think we're going to see more of this in college football as we start to get the direct to university to player payments.
When LSU's mascot tiger, Mike the Sixth, passed away 8 years ago, LSU discontinued the tradition of rolling their mascot, their caged tiger, around the stadium. But lo and behold, the tradition returns tomorrow. Mike the Seventh will be on display when Alabama comes to Baton Rouge. The governor of Louisiana was in full support of bringing Mike back. Beamer, you know who wasn't?
PETA.
PETA.
Well, yeah. I'm going to be in favor of bringing a live mascot in front of 100,000 fans or however many Death Valley has. So Massillon also used to have the live tiger mascot. His name was Obi. And there's a picture of me when I'm a young lad, probably 3rd, 4th, 5th grade maybe, hanging out with the tiger. And it was terrifying at the time, and now it's really cool to look back on. Yeah, bring the tiger back. I did see somebody tweet out yesterday. Now, the guy who is in charge of the tiger doesn't have the best past. Maybe like a Tiger King situation. Maybe like a Tiger King situation.
Royalty?
Anyways, I did see that only on 2 occasions has he lost the tiger during appearances. So it's only happened twice. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, at least the tiger came back. He's very well trained.
It's true.
Only twice. Come on.
That's what tigers dream of when they take a little tiger snooze.
That tiger is beautiful. I would love to pet that thing if he wasn't going to bite me.
Well, Shark, the good news for you is that for a price, you can do just about anything. It was the Lamar and Jamar show last night in Thursday Night Football, but I paid good money to watch the refs. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, still watching major delays on the northeast side on 161. Heading westbound, we've got a police investigation and a crash crews are working to clear up. Expect to be slow moving coming in from the Newark, New Albany area. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Tickets for the 2025 Memorial Tournament presented by Workday are now on sale with special offers only through December 5th. Walk the rope line. Witness iconic shots by golf's best. Join the crowd roars. The experience is yours, and it's second to none. Be there May 26th through June 1st. Take advantage of best ticket pricing and waived fees now through December 5th. Visit memorialtickets.com today.
So are you that person? The one who's been buying over-the-counter insoles just to make whatever shoes you wear cushy? Yep, that was me. Hey, it's Anthony. And before I went to the Good Feet store, my back would kill me if I was on my feet for any serious amount of time. I was told about the Good Feet store's 3-step arch support system. Once I tried them in my shoes, I instantly felt more supported, and honestly, my feet felt aligned perfectly for the first time in forever. And they're fit to me personally. And it's not just comfort. My Good Feet store arch supports are designed to balance and strengthen my feet. They've made such a difference in my life. The Good Feet store has helped many people relieve their pain, obviously me included. No waiting required. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Bring in your favorite shoes to the Good Feet store, and they'll personally fit you to ensure your comfort. Go ahead. Take a free test walk today. Good Feet products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports.
Good morning. I'm Mark the Shark. The dynamic duo of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase was on display at Baltimore in Thursday Night Football. Burrow completed 34 of 56 passes for 428 yards and 4 touchdowns. Chase had 11 catches for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. But the Bengals couldn't convert a 2-point attempt with 38 seconds left, and the Ravens held on to win 35-34. Cincinnati is 4-6, Baltimore 7-3. Ohio State and Purdue have met 59 times on the football field. The Buckeyes lead the all-time series 42-15 with 2 ties. Chapter 60 in the series is tomorrow in Columbus. The Buckeyes have beaten the Boilermakers in the last 2 meetings by a combined score of 100-38. OSU is a 38-point favorite tomorrow. Kickoff is at noon here on The Fan. The Sports Center is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Get a holiday loan from BMI and choose a loan amount from $1,000 to $5,000. Visit bmifcu.org/holiday loan.
Never have I been so excited to get a whiff of sweaty jock straps. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Yay, football, the fan. Just a couple of dudes being guys.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hour 2 of the program for us on a Football Friday, even though it's still hour 1, technically. I'm not starting this segment till 7 o'clock. It's now 7 o'clock.
Hey, we're there.
That's shorty, Sharky. It's a shorty right there. It's like a 90-second break. Why don't we just do that for We'll have like 8 commercial breaks an hour, but they'll only be 90 seconds apiece. How's that sound?
I wasn't ready. I didn't have my headset on.
I was down here meandering the hallways as I do, and Shark goes, "Hey, this is a quick break. You guys are back on." I'm like, "Oh, all right."
Whew, I was going to take a nap.
I was just going to walk around and have a good time. I usually try to get my steps in here.
See the world?
Yeah, see the world. Watch the world wake up, as Schlegs likes to say.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful football Friday.
It looks like the best.
I'm not a meteorologist, but it looks like we're going to have a great day.
I have some meteorology experience.
Do you?
Yeah, look outside and say it's going to be a nice day.
Can you change the forecast for Sunday? Because
what are you doing on Sunday?
Supposed to be playing in a little 4-man outing, the Chili Open.
Oh.
And I think I played it with the brothers-in-law like almost every year since we moved here. And you look at the forecast, and like every day this week, except for, a couple, was it Wednesday, it rained a little bit.
Yeah, but what's it up in Belleville?
Probably phenomenal.
Are you impressed that I knew exactly where you were playing without you even saying that?
It's actually not there.
It's not?
No,
that's
it's not.
disappointing.
I know. It is sad. I wish it was, because that's a hidden gem. I won't be talking about them because I've already made it more crowded than it needs to be at the Ridge Golf and Gardens, which is the spiritual home. Anyway, but it's like you look at the forecast all week, it's like this would be great fall golf weather every day of the week, and then Sunday's 97% chance of rain
all day too.
Come on.
It's not even like a morning or an afternoon window. I mean, it's going to be raining.
Half an inch of rain. Like, come on.
Hey, the good news is that you're going to get to experience an awesome Buckeye football game day weather.
I'm pretty excited for that.
Every Saturday and mostly every Friday, other than when we had our crazy windstorm. I don't even remember when that was, if it was August or September. Like every Friday night football for high schoolers and every Saturday here in Ohio has been like the perfect football weather ever.
Well, we are the San Diego of the Midwest.
That's what they call us. So we got an awesome weekend on tap. Yeah, 65, sunny today. That's as good as you want.
Take a look at Sunday.
Yeah, 63 and rain, 99% chance. We're up from the 97% chance that you had.
Great. I spoke it into existence.
Coming up here, 7:20 this morning. Director of Hockey Operations, number 61 in your hearts, Rick Nash. He's going to join the program coming up here at 7:20. It is a Freaky Friday. Bobby's not in. You or Austin Ward, you're in for him. We're going to call Bob at 7:33 this morning. I'm going to play your open.
Yeah, I'm going to love that.
I'm going to play your open for Bob. So we're going to check in with him at 7:33. And then 1 hour away from right now, since he was unable to join the program yesterday, Albert Breer, MMQB, he's going to join us, talk about what he saw in the Thursday night football game, which we'll get to in just a second, and all kinds of stuff that's going on across the NFL. So quite the power-packed and robust hour here for us on a Football Friday.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Thursday night football last night over at Baltimore. Ravens 35, Bengals 34. Now, we had talked about this a little bit in the 6 o'clock hour. The Bengals, they just can't close out these one-possession games. They just can't do it. They marched down the field. They scored with, 38 seconds left to go, I think, in the game. They get a touchdown. They decide that, you know what, we're going to go for 2. We're just going to try to have a little walk-off here. And I don't know which penalty you wanted to focus on, Austin, but there were a couple on that drive leading up to it, like a face mask roughing the passer on Joe that didn't get called. And then, just pick whichever player that you wanted to focus in on. There were 2 holding calls, both on the tight ends for the Bengals on the failed 2-point conversion. And then there was a legal hands to the face, roughing the passer on Joe Burrow that wasn't called, but the Ravens do get it done 35-34, overshadowing, unfortunately, what was a terrific football game.
Yeah, the Ravens had been encouraged by the officials that, hey, you can just go ahead and put your hands wherever you want on Joe Burrow, and it doesn't matter. So they continued to do that all the way down the field. They missed it twice on the same drive. Just ridiculous. Joe Burrow is doing everything he possibly can to win games for the Bengals, and they just cannot get over the hump. Whether that's a defense one week or, blaming the officials, the pass interference, go back to the Chiefs game earlier in the year. It's just like they're finding new ways, and sometimes they control it. Sometimes I don't feel like they do. Maybe you could call something a little more creative than trying to get both of your tight ends involved on a 2-point conversion, and you can point the finger at Zach Taylor. But whatever, there's plenty of that to go around, and it's just maddening to watch the Bengals in these in-game situations.
Here was Joe after the game last night saying, hard to believe this team's 4-6.
Yeah, if you look at how we're playing, and then, you look at Trey Hendrickson, how he's playing. Yeah, it's tough pill to swallow, but we've had our opportunities. Obviously, it's tough when you feel like you're playing well enough to win and you're not, but there's always more to do.
Yep, always more to do. There's always more to do for them. And I believe they have Sunday Night Football coming up next Sunday in Los Angeles against the Chargers. So, depending on what they do this weekend, we'll see what happens in that one.
Another winnable game, but, they pretty much all are with the way that Joe Burrow is playing. He is at such a high level right now. You just need a little bit more. And I think that also, you go back to Tuesday. Like, could they have brought in some help at the trade deadline? Could you have been, patch up one thing and make another play to win a game? Yeah. And we'll never know because they didn't.
Lamar was spectacular last night, too. And so was Jamar. I mean, it was the Lamar and the Jamar show. Jamar
sounds like somebody who has them in fantasy.
First of all, I do have both those guys in fantasy. And Meredith went to bed last night. She goes, how did they do in the first half? I said, it's okay. It's okay. They had an 80-point outburst to end the game. So I was all right this morning looking at the fantasy scores. The good news for the Bengals is that, like, if you look at the AFC and you break down, like, the playoff race and the playoff standings, so teams 5 through 7 right now, which are currently in the playoffs, the Ravens are at 7-3. They just swept the season series from you. There's not a whole lot to do left against those guys. I mean, they're 2-0 against you. That's the reality that you're facing. You get the Chargers, who are the 6th seed. You're playing them next weekend, so you could do something there. And then the two teams ahead of you as of right now are the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts. Broncos are at 5-4, Colts are at 4-5, Bengals are at 4-6. It's not like there are world beaters that are ahead of you, but again, you can't lose one possession games in this league, and you also can't start the season off 0-3 like they did.
Yeah,
can't do it.
And it's hard to believe, like, to Joe Burrow's point there. Like, does anyone look at the Bengals and think, well, yeah, they're in the same neighborhood as the Colts and Broncos? Like, come on.
Yeah.
And what Burrow's doing, what Jamar Chase is doing, what you see from Trey Hendrickson, they are a better team than their record indicates, but your record is also what it is. That's, as you said, Beam, you start the season like that, you're going to be digging out of a hole for a while. 5-2 is probably what it's going to take down the stretch. That's not out of the cards with the schedule that they have and the talent that's on this roster, but all margin for error is gone, and the Bengals have no one to blame but themselves. They are the ones who threw it away.
Chargers at the Chargers next weekend, Sunday Night Football. Then you're home against the Steelers, big divisional game in that one. On the road for a 2-pack against the Cowboys and the Titans. And then you finish up the season against the Browns, Broncos, and Steelers. So you get the Broncos, who are ahead of you in the standings. You get them on the table as well moving forward. So it's not dead, but
it's going to come down to the Steelers series.
It's going to come down probably to that last game of the season. It's going to come down at least to the last two in the Broncos series in Week 17 and then Week 18, that turnaround at Pittsburgh to finish up the year, because they're going to be battling for the playoffs too. So we'll see what happens with them, but they go down 35-34 against the Baltimore Ravens last night, and they're all purple uniforms and yellow accents. They looked like the Vikings.
I did not love the new helmets either.
The one with the third, like, Edgar Allan Poe Raven.
Yeah, it was creepy.
It was creepy. I like the side of the profile angle of the Raven. I don't need the straight on the straight beak shot.
No, that's not the glamour shot you want of a Raven.
No, it's not. You want the side angle of that.
Yeah.
Buckeyes against Purdue tomorrow, 12 noon, 10:30 a.m. statewide coverage for us begins over at the Horseshoe. Our pregame coverage will begin at 6:30 in the morning. Got
bright
the pregame
and
show.
Early.
No, dark and early at that time. That's dark out.
Not anymore.
Sun doesn't. Yes, it is. It's dark out at 6:30. The sun's just starting to rise. It's like 7 o'clock. So they'll go until 8:30, and then the tailgate show will go from 8:30 to 10:30. Timmy and I will be on sometime in the neighborhood between 4:15, 4:30. We'll go to 5:30. Yeah, so that's what we got looking forward to. And then after we're done, at 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, got the Jackets at the Kings, 8:30 coverage for us on the Fan, and then the Jackets at the Ducks on Sunday. So nice little back-to-back for the CBJ.
I got a text on Saturday around 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
Allie said, "Oh, listening to Beamer and Timmy's so fun. These guys are great." So you're listening to the radio?
Why would you do that?
At 5:30?
What was she doing?
I don't know.
Was she watching on YouTube? Was she watching the YouTube stream, or was she driving around going somewhere?
I think she was driving around.
All right.
Probably heading back from the in-laws folks. They had a lovely Saturday. They enjoyed the Penn State game.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm still working, but I'm glad you're having a great time listening to
What time did you guys get back?
From State College?
Yeah.
I got up. I got up at 5:30 on Sunday morning and drove back. Because we had to stay in Bedford. So we got back to Bedford around 7:30 Saturday night. We kind of got out early. The traffic wasn't as bad leaving as it was getting in, which was the worst I've ever seen there. But so we got back there. We had something to eat. And I debated coming back. I was like, well, get the time. It's about 4.5 hours more from Bedford, but I was exhausted from that whole day. So I actually was like, well, they moved up the F1 race. I wanted to be back and watch it with the girls. It's supposed to be at noon. I was like, this is going to be great. And instead, they moved it up to 10:30 for weather in Brazil. I said, I guess we're getting up at 5:30. But I didn't even have to set an alarm. I just woke up naturally. The time changed. It's like, I'm getting old. I get up earlier now. That's why I'm doing the morning juice.
That's what it's all about.
But so I got back here about 10 on Sunday. It was great.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
And you had the full day ahead.
So when we went in 2014, I guess it would have been 2013, 2014. Yeah, the 2014 season. The Joey Bosa walk-off sack game. I've told that story before. I mean, I'm on the field, I'm helping Skip out and being Bubble Boy down there with the big parabolic mic of trying to avoid getting run into on the sidelines frantically. And so I remember because we went over with a couple of guys who I was doing student radio with. So it was another 3 guys with me and then myself, and I was driving my old 1999 Buick Regal over.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was driving in college, you know. I had no
pimping in the Regal.
No issues with anything that I was doing, was feeling good about the situation. And I just remember on the drive back, because that was a night game, so we drove back the evening of.
Oh,
I mean, that was like a departure time of like 1 a.m. maybe. I mean, so we're driving through the middle of absolute nowhere. We're on the highway. And at like 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., I legitimately started hallucinating. I was like, I don't know. I've been up. I made the whole drive over this morning. We spent the day like on campus hanging out. We did the game. That was draining. I was tired from that. And then at like 4 a.m., I had to wake one of my friends up. I'm like, you have to drive like these last 90 minutes because I'm seeing things in the road that just do not exist.
Yep. I've had that happen before. We used to leave for spring break. We would drive from Laramie to Las Vegas for spring break.
Oh.
And we would leave
What's that bad boy?
It was like 13 hours. So we would leave in the middle of the night. It's like, so we get an extra day. I would always drive. And by the time because we did it multiple times. And so when I start seeing snakes on the road, that's when somebody else needs to take the wheel.
Time for me to hand up the keys.
I'm done here. I need
coming back from Michigan one time. A couple of caddies and I went on a golf trip up to Michigan. Like we played Arcadia Bluffs and we played Forest Dunes up there, and I dropped my buddy off in Waldo, Ohio, so just north on 23. And then at that time, like we were living over in Grandview, so I'm like, I'll just take 315 all the way down. And so we're driving in Grandview, same Buick Regal, by the way, that I'm now driving in like 2016, 2017.
It made it.
It did. It did make it. It did a fantastic job. Other than the lights going out on the part of State Route 315 that is not lit at all.
Uh-oh. That's not where you want to be blind.
No, between 270 and 23, I mean, I'm driving and I'm like, I'm putting on my brakes. I'm doing everything I can. Again, it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I can't see anything. And finally, I'm like flashing my brights and they magically pop back on. That was top one scariest driving experience I've ever had.
That is not the spot you want to be going without lights.
No.
Okay.
No, that wasn't good at all. What are you most looking forward to this weekend? I mean, I know you got the Buckeyes, you got the Boilermakers tomorrow at high noon over at the Horseshoe, but what are you looking at for college football this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that there is some value to gain from watching Indiana, Michigan, not just because you're looking ahead, although that's a big deal for Ohio State, and then factoring out what the closing stretch looks like for the Buckeyes. Like, is Indiana for real? You would look at Michigan's struggles and their records and say, well, this game may not tell you that either. Like, it's not going to really boost Indiana as much. They've been one of the hot topics for the College Football Playoff Selection Committee with their first rankings this week. And are they too high? Are they not high enough? Are they not getting the proper respect? Well, I mean, it's hard to really know based on who they've played at this point. But Michigan, if nothing else, they have a physical presence on both lines. They have 2 really good defensive tackles. I don't know if Will Johnson's going to play. I don't know if he's going to come back at all this year or not. But, I do think if Indiana goes in and does the same thing to Michigan that it's done to everybody else, then you would have to say, okay, this is for real. And that game that's coming up, almost certainly going to be big noon when the Hoosiers come to the Horseshoe. Say, well, that, set aside the rivalry part of it. The toughest task that lays ahead in the regular season may well be Indiana. I don't know that we can say that right now definitively, but maybe tomorrow night we could.
They're good.
I'm not saying they're not good.
They're good.
They're handling their business the way that Indiana doesn't usually. Like, they would lose to some of these opponents or mess around in games. Like, you know that they're well coached. You know that they're fundamentally sound. They have good players. They have great players. Compared to Ohio State's roster, I would have to say no to that. But, they are untested a little bit. And I think that Michigan can reveal something about them that maybe we don't know yet.
The Nasher, Director of Hockey Operations for your Columbus Blue Jackets, Rick Nash. He's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are still watching closures on 161 at 270. Westbound ramps from 161 to 270 north and southbound are shut down as crews work to clear up an overnight shooting on 161. The best way to get to 270 from the northeast side is Morse Road. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
Okay, name? Occupation? Great. You get a brand new Kia for less than lunch, under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
Is that a turkey?
Of course, we're talking turkey. With event pricing and the credit approve-a-thon.
Wow, and new Kias are less than lunch?
Yes, under $5 a day. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorento LX. All three under $5 a day.
Wow, that's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
He just got an EV6 with 0% financing.
Lucky goose.
Turkey.
Turkey, right. But I'd never get approved.
If you've got a job, you ride.
You guys are great.
Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
GreatLakesKia.com.
You're such a ham.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, save big on 6 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties are just $2.99 each with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
So I asked the local Pella Columbus team, we're doing these ads for you. What should I tell the people? Hey, it's Bobby, and I expected them to talk about how awesome the Pella windows are and quality and looks and all that. But their first response was actually, we just want people to know how buttoned up we are. The windows, they sell themselves. But we want people to know there's a local Pella Columbus team here in town that's all in on making the process as perfect as the windows. And if you Google Pella Columbus, you'll see the reviews that prove all of it. So now you know Pella Columbus.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Common Man and T-Bone here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Bone, did you know the sportsbook is now called ESPN Bet?
I did, and you can watch your favorite teams on the biggest screens, place your bets, and grab some wings with an ice-cold pint.
Maybe you're too boring and don't want to go to the casino. Good news. You can keep the action going and place your bets on the go with the ESPN Bet app.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook is your 50-yard line ticket to odds, point spreads, and over-unders.
It's the place to be. Losers must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Reichert Chevy's dealing in Dublin.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Shop hundreds of vehicles at ReichertChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're dealing.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll at healthcare.gov by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Beautiful day out there today. Highs in the low 60s. Clear but cold tonight as we drop down to 39. Partial sunshine on your Saturday. We will see increasing clouds late in the day. High 61. Rain and wind on your Sunday with a high of 65. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If you can find a show that's closer to Buckeye football, it would be hosted by Ryan Day. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Freaky Friday edition of the program. Brandon Beam, Austin's filling in for Bob, but we're going to check in with Bob coming up here at 7:33 in our next segment. And at this time, we usually get to talk to Jackets insider Jeff Sabota, but he is in California. So now we get to check in with this guy.
Morning Juice presents Talking Jackets.
Now it's Beam Jenner along the end boards, and he stuffs it behind Peter Mrazek for the score.
Sponsored by Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
As we head out to the hotline now, check in with your director of hockey operations for your Columbus Blue Jackets. He is Rick Nash. Nasher, thanks for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. I know that the team's on a nice little West Coast road trip. Do you like those West Coast road trips? And I know that we've talked about here throughout the last week and a half or so getting ready for this trip, how it's a good time for this team to embark on something and being able to have those kind of team building activities out there. Thanks for the time, Nasher.
Yeah, of course. It's always nice to chat with you guys, and it's obviously nice to get on the road for the team. Especially it seems like those longer road trips always tend to happen on the back half of the season. So for an LA or a West Coast road trip to happen early on, it kind of gets the guys out of their element, out of the hometown, and forced to spend even more time together on the road and just create that bond.
Rick, some of those bonds, you keep the stories private, but was there ever during your career a West Coast road trip that stood out in your mind, something fun, something crazy, something bad that happened that you always, if people ask you about going out to the West Coast for a week or two, the first thing that comes to your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it's always, it always seems like the best bonding happens when you go out for dinner and you're away from the rink or, away from the hotel. It's funny that, a few of the former teammates, we all work with the Blue Jackets now, and, me and Jared Bowl and Aaron Johnson and, Jody Shelley, we definitely had some good times on the road, good bonding times. So I made sure to tell Bowler before he left that he, made sure that he stayed safe and got home on time and all that.
Jared, just don't get in any trouble out there, all right? Just don't make sure that doesn't happen. I saw this news yesterday, Rick, and can you illuminate to us? And it's obviously very, very major news when it comes to professional hockey and then major junior hockey and college. So the NCAA made Canadian Hockey League players available for Division I. Not only how does that impact you in the NHL, but just as a sport in general, like it, don't have any thoughts on it? Just kind of the rules announcement that was made yesterday. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do think you're bang on. This is huge news. Ever since I was 13, 14 years old, that's kind of when you had to pick your avenue on which way you were going to go as a hockey player. And that was either, the CHL, which is the Canadian Major Junior, or you were going to wait till you're 18 and go come to the States and go the NCAA avenue. With this new rule and with that getting passed yesterday, it seems like it gives, every American kid the opportunity to go up to Canada and play your 16, 17, 18-year-old year without losing your eligibility to come back to the States when you're 17, 18 and go to a major university. I think it's great. Obviously, we don't know all the details about it yet, or exactly how it's going to work. At least I haven't read it in full yet, but from my understanding. I think it's going to make both leagues that much more exciting to watch.
Yeah, that's what I saw, Rick. There was a lot of conversation like this is about to make NCAA hockey like one of the next big things. Is going to be an explosion of talent. It's going to be an explosion of interest. I don't know if that's hyperbole at this point, but it seems like it does look set up to make both, I don't know, NHL and college hockey in America a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, I think, from my understanding, I think it might make the CHL a little younger, but some of those stars, star players that want to go NCAA, it's going to give them 2 years to play in the CHL, which will make the CHL better as well. It'll just make it a little younger, and then from the CHL they can graduate on, which obviously will make the NCAA. We'll get a lot of those players that. Might not be ready for the NHL, might not be ready for the AHL, but they're kind of ready to graduate from the CHL, and that's I think where it comes in to NCAA hockey, where there might even be that better buffer. So I think it's going to work out for everyone. Obviously, we'll find out in the next few years, but you nailed it. It is huge news in the hockey world.
He is Director of Hockey Operations for your Columbus Blue Jackets. Rick Nash with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Let's get to the on-ice product real quick. 3 games left to go in this road trip, Rick, tomorrow and then on Sunday. So a back-to-back, then you get a day off. You're moving to Seattle. What do you want to see out of your guys as they kind of get into the teeth of this road trip here out west?
Yeah, I think we got off to a great start, and then we ran into a couple hot teams with Winnipeg and Washington, and watching the San Jose game, I thought the guys had a very good game, and ran into some hot goaltending. So I think we just got to keep creating that identity that Dean's set the standard for. We got to be a hardworking team. We all got to play as a 5-man unit. It's all the cliches, but at the end of the day, that's kind of what worked when we were winning games.
Before we get you out of here, Rick, we have Dean Evison on every Thursday. We didn't talk to him yesterday because they're out in California, so that'd be like 4:30 their time. But he has talked about some of these. I know that you kind of talked about the team building activities. He has talked about some of your golf games. So if I put you against Dean Evison 1v1 on the golf course, are you confident enough that you can beat him? And would he be confident enough that he could beat you in that situation?
Oh, he could beat me easily. He plays any of my downtime. I'm on the ice with my boys, Mac and Finn. So, he's past that stage, and he's out of the golf course working on his game. If I get to play once a week, I'm lucky. So I would save your guys money if you're going to bet on that one.
Said we're going
or make it and bet on him.
Yeah, we're going with Dean.
We're riding with Dean.
Yeah,
all right.
Sounds great. Rick, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the next few games of the road trip, and we'll check in again soon. All right.
Anytime, guys.
There he goes.
I could never bet against Rick Nash.
No, me either. Director of Hockey Operations, Rick Nash, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. It is a Freaky Friday. You're supposed to be up next. You are Austin Ward. Bobby's usually sitting in the seat that you're in.
Ooh.
But we're going to call Bob on a Freaky Friday next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, crews are still working a scene on the ramps from 161 westbound to 270, both north and southbound. Those ramps are closed off. Best way to get to 270 from the northeast side is through Morse Road. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Green & Sons. Family owned and operated for over 45 years. Green & Sons will help you find your next Kubota tractor. Located in Mount Sterling and north of Marysville. And online at greenandsons.com.
Black Friday is here at your local Ram dealer. And right now, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $499 a month for 42 months with $4,082 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 11/12/24.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. We often hear businesses say that they are, quote, family owned and operated, which leads you to think, how often are the owners of the company involved in day-to-day operations? Well, when it comes to Newman Roofing, I can personally tell you that I met with Tim I met with his daughters. They have 4 family members of Newman Roofing overseeing the different divisions of the company, ensuring that an excellent customer service experience is going to be provided to you every time. Folks, I can personally testify they were great with my wife and I, and they will do the same for you. With Newman Roofing, their family focuses on every detail, and it allows them to deliver that white glove experience, not just for me, but for everyone, that you're not going to get with those larger corporations. 32 years in business, 3 generations in the roofing industry. They can do it all, and they will take care of you. So before those winter storms hit, have Newman Roofing come out and take a look. Whether it's a repair or replacement, Newman has you covered at 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com.
Thanksgiving can be stressful when you're shopping on a budget. Let Family Dollar help you do more this year with amazing deals on the supplies you need for a great turkey day, from prep to cleanup. See how you could save on Thanksgiving staples like canned soups and veggies, or essentials such as disposable plates and utensils, trash bags, storage supplies, and more. For even greater savings, download the Family Dollar app, clip available offers, and redeem at checkout. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. Join us for a special First Friday live broadcast in High Bank Distillery in Grandview. It's Wednesday, November 13th, 9 to noon. Check out our exclusive fan barrel picks and enjoy High Bank's famous chicken and biscuits from High Bank Distillery and the Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Your small business can save big with the SACA benefit plan. 844-MEDOhio.com. That's 844-MEDOhio.com. Anthem's SACA benefit plan. 844-MEDOhio.com.
For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. Choose from Classic 3 Cheese, Pepperoni, or Extreme Meat Pizza. Save big with a $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 1/7/25. See app for full terms.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Ready to take on the open road? Bobby Carpenter here. Get behind the wheel of power and reliability at Germain Toyota. Right now, drive off in a 2024 Tacoma SR 4x4 for just $329 a month. That's 39 months with 10,000 miles per year. Only $32.99 due at signing. Or step up to the rugged 2024 Tundra SR5 4x4 for just $399 a month with $39.99 due at signing. Both built tough, built to last. Hurry into Germain Toyota where adventure begins. Offers end soon. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road and online at germaintoyota.net. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Hash browns and smackdowns. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Football Friday edition of the program. Brandon Beam, Austin Ward, Mark the Shark. At this time every Friday, we get to check in with this guy.
A guy who considers himself the mayor of Laramie, Wyoming, who holds the shuffleboard record at the Ranger, and most impressive, the commissioner of the Central Ohio Two-Man Scramble League. Here's Austin Ward.
And Austin is brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss, but you're sitting to the right of me. So now we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline and check in with the host of the show. He is Bobby Carpenter. Bob, good to talk to you, buddy. Are we going to ask Austin questions together? Are we asking you? Are you doing some AJ role play? What are you doing here?
The possibilities are endless, Beam, and I was hoping you were going to play the open because I feel like I could probably win the election of the mayor of Laramie, Wyoming, and I'm a pretty darn good shuffleboard player, so the Ranger stands no chance. As far as the two-man scramble, probably not fully my bag, but we'll see what happens.
I think the scramble is the perfect format for you, Bob. You don't have to rely on yourself for every single shot. You get to, have a few sodas out there with you. You're going to love it. It's got enough competition and strategy to it. I think that you'd be very good.
what I need, Austin, would be a really consistent player, because the scramble format does allow my inconsistencies to really thrive. So I don't have to hit good shots every time. I don't even have to hit average shots every time.
That's right.
I can hit great shots and terrible shots, which is really where my game lies.
Mine too.
I don't know if you're talking to any of the two guys that would be a reliable enough partner for you, Bob. All right, let's focus on the task at hand, shall we? Before we do that, before we talk some Buckeyes and some Boilermakers, where are you going this weekend?
I'm heading up to Notre Dame, so they're playing Florida State. At the beginning of the year, that looked like a pretty good game. Bringing my son Kellen with me. Nice. Excited to kind of go up there, check out everything that they have to offer. I know South Bend. I've been up there. It's been, goodness gracious, it's been 20 years since I've been to South Bend up there for a recruiting trip. I don't know if I'm going to stay for the game, given the fact that if it's a good game, it's probably not a good day for Marcus. So I'll probably head back and hopefully watch the night games at my house.
It's changed a lot. It was a pretty good atmosphere for the Ohio State Notre Dame game last year. But Bob, what's your favorite Bonnie Raitt song?
Oh gosh, we were playing. It was just singing with Shark yesterday.
Let's give him something to talk about.
Give him something to talk about.
Yeah.
That's what I had written down on my sheet. And did he not play that this morning?
Oh, he played it. People are talking, Bob. They're talking about people. Okay? I hear him whispering.
What people?
Well, you don't need to worry about that part. What people should we be talking about? Who are the most important Buckeyes on Saturday? Let's give them something to talk about.
You know, I guess I'm going to lean back in to some of the veteran players. I don't even know if I'd say veteran players. I'd say the leaders on that team, and whether that's Caleb Downs, whether that's a Cody Simon, a Jack Sawyer, a Seth McLaughlin, or Will Howard, or heck, even a Jermaine Matthews. Like, before last week, heading into it, it was going to be a leadership game. It was going to be a culture game, and I would say that's easier in those big games, those big moments, especially on the road, because you know everything that you need and what you've got to put out there. Whereas in this, we're going back now to, I think, what people thought Nebraska was going to be. It really wasn't. Nebraska's a much better team than what they showed against Indiana. But now coming out this week, like, it's not a game that has a lot of juice. It's not a time slot that has a lot of sizzle. And it was, like, when I say start fast, well, you've got to create some energy through big plays and really through each other. And so I'm looking at those leaders, like, you don't want to have, not that there's a risk, I would say, of losing this game. I mean, yeah, they do have 11 players on the field and 85 scholarships. But the reality of it for me is, are you going to see that connectivity? Are you going to see that passion, not only this week, but next week? Because you don't want to go through these peaks and valleys. Leadership is not like my golf game. It's not the highs. It's not the lows. You're designed there to be in that position to keep everybody steady rocking all night long. And that's what some of these veterans have to bring.
He is. We got Carp with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. How do you avoid that dip, though, Bob? I mean, it's human nature, isn't it? Right? I mean, just coming off of the massive win against Penn State.
Human nature for people that are soft.
It's true, and I am soft. So why don't you tell me they're not soft over there, but I am soft? How do you avoid that dip? Because really everything coming out of the Woody this week has been pumping Purdue up, pumping them up, saying they're good, the quarterbacks are good, they got good players, the results aren't indicative of what they are. So how do you avoid that natural letdown in a game like this? And what you just talked about, like, atmosphere may not be the best, it's not the best time slot, it's not the best opponent. How do you avoid that dip?
Well, it's through consistency. And I'll give you a little bit of Schlegs for you right now. Like, it's easy to kill a grizzly bear that's going to kill you. It's a little bit harder when you go out there and you've got to shoot Bambi just because it's deer season. And because that deer's probably not going to harm you back. Like, Purdue's not going to harm you back. You've got to get a little bit of sociopath in you and be like, listen.
A little shakeability, Bob?
A lot of shakeability. I'm going to go out here. We're going to shank these dudes a couple of times. We're going to let them lay there and bleed, and then we're going to walk away. We'll call the ambulance on the way out, but we're not going to give them any mercy. And we're going to start, like, we're going to have the mentality where they shouldn't get a yard, and there's no feasible reason for us to never get less than 5 yards on any given play. And so you have to come in there with that mindset of, we're going to dominate them today. We know that we're better. There's no reason for them to have any life. and to have that same mentality that you went into at Penn State. And that's a consistency piece, and that's the leadership to where the veteran players know we have to be able to maintain this intensity, because you're not going to need it next week, but you will need it against Indiana, and you're going to need it the final game of the season. And so you cannot have this. Bill Parcells would famously tell us, I don't want any yo-yos. I don't want guys that are up. I don't want guys that are down. I want to know what you are, and I want to know about it each and every week. So you've got to have a little bit of that sociopath in you, where when you take the field at noon on Saturday and you run out of the tunnel, and there's not going to be like, oh, we're playing Penn State, and they're sitting there, the stands are bouncing up and down. They're playing Zombie Nation, pick six, field goal, 14-play drive off the beginning. You're down 10-0, and now you're in a fight. You've got to make sure that you're taking the fight to them from the very beginning, and it's got to be a mentality with those veteran players.
Bob, you said that these noon starts, they're not sexy. When I told you on Monday that I thought the last 6 games were all going to be at noon, and we already knew that the last one was, the look on your face was as crestfallen as I've ever seen.
Well, because I feel like Indiana would be a nice 3 o'clock start, 3:30 start. Like, that screams middle window to me. I mean, we're using up a big noon on Purdue. I mean, Austin, they're the 17th best team in the conference. I mean, what are we? Maybe 18th.
I think they're 18th.
Yeah, I'm trying to help them out there. I mean, like, you're telling me that this is a premier matchup? What are we doing? Like, that's the problem. Is this can be whatever. Put it on Big Ten Network. You can put the other one. Like, big noon, though, like, it's a little bit of a false narrative that they're putting out there. And, like, that Indiana game is going to be bigger. Obviously, I feel like that'd be 3:30. Now, the coaches probably want it to be noon because it's the week before Michigan, and I get that. And you're going to, especially guys that might be nicked up, they're going to start treatment right after. But you're looking at these next 2 weeks, to me, as like one solid march to get to Indiana, to be able to take care of it. And along the way, you're going to have a couple skirmishes that you need to dominate in. And yes, Austin, I'm not excited for 6 straight noon games to finish off the season. Like, Purdue is an adequate noon game. Northwestern, noon game. Penn State, 3:30 or night. Indiana, 3:30. Michigan, always noon. Like, I'm fine with the games being at noon because nobody wants to wait all day for a butt kicking. Like, let's just get up in the morning and take care of it.
Hey, before we get you out of here, about 3:15-ish tomorrow afternoon, Bob, I'm going to ask you the same question I ask Austin every single Friday. What reads the scoreboard in Ohio Stadium as the clock's at 0?
I don't know if it'll be like a beatdown of epic proportion. I like a 45-6. They like to start fast, get everybody in there. Now, they probably still will score, so I might even be a little light on that. But, I'll say 49-6 instead. 49-6.
49-6. Take it to the bank. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us. Have a fantastic weekend over in South Bend, and we'll reconvene here on Monday, all right?
Yes, sir. You guys enjoy it.
There he goes, Bob Carpenter. Here, Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems. The general, yeah. It's weird. I don't know how to introduce him when he comes on the show like that. Oh, usually I just talk to him over here. Usually I know how to introduce you. I don't know how to do it. Bobby Carpenter, Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline, Buckeye Insider. He joined us.
There it is.
We're going to get Juice next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, crews are still working a scene on the ramps from 161 westbound to 270, both north and southbound. Those ramps are closed off. Best way to get to 270 from the northeast side is through Morse Road. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Reichert Chevy's dealing in Dublin.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Shop hundreds of vehicles at ReichertChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're dealing.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation.
Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Ready to hit the road in a new car? With Pathways, enjoy up to 90 days with no payments and low auto loan rates. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Can't make it to the game? Watch the Fan's pre- and post-game shows live on YouTube. Just search 97 on the Fan and click subscribe.
The Fan's YouTube channel is sponsored by Coors Light.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Does your vehicle need maintenance, but you don't have time? Krieger Ford's got you covered. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or we come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
If your air conditioning or furnace stops working in the middle of the night, on a weekend, or over a holiday, there's no reason to wait to get it fixed. For 100 years, Atlas Butler has been here for your family. We're always open, we work on all furnace and air conditioner brands, and it's easy and convenient to request service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. Choose from classic 3-cheese, pepperoni, or extreme meat pizza. Save big with the $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 1/7/25. See app for full terms.
Men, we hear it all the time. A man comes in to get his erectile dysfunction treated, and very soon thereafter, he tells us that his relationship is renewed. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and you should know that ED doesn't just affect you, it also often affects your partner. They can feel undesired, unwanted. They may even feel like you don't love them anymore. At Tri-State Men's Health, we've successfully treated thousands of men for ED with protocols that have success rates as high as 90%. Which means if you're like most men, we can get you back to the guy you used to be. You could even last up to an hour or more and find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and give your partner the gift of renewed love. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It is going to be a beautiful Friday. Sunshine, high 63. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 61. If you're heading off to the OSU game at the Shoe, it should be a beautiful day for that. Rain moves in on Sunday with a high of 65. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems in Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Beamer has a very punchable face, so Bobby punches it. This is Morning Juice.
We are on the Juice, brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Austin. Bobby usually goes first here. It's a football Friday. Got a Buckeye game tomorrow. Got a full weekend of NFL action Sunday. It's going to be awesome weather, at least today and tomorrow, not on Sunday. What's got you fired up today, buddy?
The fact that it's not going to be awesome weather on Sunday. I haven't played golf in, 7 weeks or so. Not the kind of layoff that I enjoy. I love that it's football season. I love being busy. I love work. Like, it's fun to cover Ohio State. But you got a nice little, late season event. They always have this Chili Open. Play it with the brothers-in-law. Got Brandon Pavel joining us on the team this year. It's going to be a nice little Sunday morning. And now it's like, okay.
Poof, gone.
Gone. Are they even going to play if you have half an inch of water on the course? I don't know.
Not supposed to lightning, though, so that's good.
Yeah, well, it'll be worse if you have to go out there and play through it, and you have to. I don't even know where my rain jacket is. Find an umbrella. Like, that's not what I'm wanting to do on Sunday. Is battle the elements.
Just cancel the tea time then if you're so worried about it.
Well, I'm not scared to be great either. So it's a catch-22. But I'm gonna do a little rain dance this afternoon.
All right,
and I think that'll do it.
Good. I'm glad that you're fired
I'm
up.
juiced to go dance.
I hope that you get your round in. Shark?
Yes.
What Schleif's got to say?
Yesterday is a history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it's called the present. You know who said that?
Who?
Master Oogway. Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't think that Master Oogway was the first one in Kung Fu Panda.
Hey, yes, he was. Okay. Don't you be spreading misinformation on these airwaves.
If Schleg said it, it's truth.
Back when Waffle House was open back in the 50s. We Googled it. It was not open in the 50s, but he said it with so much confidence we had to believe him.
I mentioned this Monday. I want to reiterate on Friday. High school playoffs resume tonight. We're into the second round. My beloved Ashland Arrows hosting DeSales in a second-round game, Region 7, Division II, Region 7. And so up in Ashland tonight, I'm expecting a sighting of Ryan Day, his son.
Think he's ever been up to the
quarterback,
world headquarters of nice people before?
Oh, he's up there all the time. You know how many kids are recruited out of Ashland High School?
Tons.
Division I college football. Mm-hmm.
That's a decent way out of the way from getting ready for Purdue.
I know. We're talking about...
You going up tonight? You watching?
80 miles north. Yeah. No, I am not being... I'm sure tickets are going for thousands of dollars on the open market. Last night, Lamar Jackson. This is a little trivia for you guys. I'll let you answer if you think you can. Lamar Jackson became the 5th quarterback to reach double-digit victories against the Bengals. He is now 10-1 against Cincinnati. He's 5-1 in head-to-head matchups with Joe Burrow. But do you know who the other 4 quarterbacks are that have defeated the Bengals 10 times in their career?
Ben Roethlisberger.
I was going to start with Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben is 24-10, or was 24-10 against the Bengals.
What about Terry Bradshaw?
Terry Bradshaw, 13-9 against the Bengals. These other 2 are tough.
Like, when are we talking about?
Well,
Joe Flacco.
No, not Joe.
That's a good guess.
That is a good guess.
Deshaun.
No.
Baker.
Back before there was an AFC North, there was an AFC Central, when there were 3 divisions. So for decades, it was the Browns, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Oilers.
Randall Cunningham. No, Warren Moon.
Warren Moon, 13-7 against the Bengals. And then Steve McNair was 10-7. My man Bernie Kosar, only 7-6 against the Bengals.
I wasn't going to pick any Browns quarterbacks, Shark.
I'm so sorry that you feel that way about my Browns. The first version of the Browns, much better than this version, this expansion.
Yeah, they looked good on Thursday Night Football last night.
Yes, they did. We got a really good Hall of Fame quarterback going for his 3rd MVP. Rest in peace to Ben, Kirk Herbstreit's golden retriever, suffering from cancer that had spread to his organs. So they said goodbye to him. I am not even a dog lover, but that was a beautiful dog that I saw there. And then tonight, Cavs, they rank 1st in the NBA in scoring, 123 points a game. Golden State is 3rd at 121, but Golden State is 1st in the league in point differential. The Cavs are 3rd. They meet tonight in Cleveland. Cavs have a chance to go 10-0, Beam.
4.5-point favorites are the Cavs, Shark. What do you think about that one?
I think I'm going to take Golden State, getting 4.5, and hope the Cavs win by 4.
You know what has me juiced? I saw this this morning when I was perusing the internet. The Browns are the only team in the NFL with more punt yards than total offensive yards this season. Corey Bojorquez has 2,600 yards in punt yards, and the Browns' offense currently has 2,470 yards of offense.
It's elite.
That's
elite.
You got a good punter. You got a good punter.
What is worse? The Browns are 32nd in the NFL in total offense. Purdue is 131st out of 134 FBS schools in total offense.
What's worse?
Yeah.
Purdue.
Do you think Purdue could beat the Browns?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking.
What are you talking about?
All right.
It was also
Shark,
egregious.
that's not the way that conversation goes. You're supposed to take the best in college football against the worst in the NFL. You don't take the worst of both.
Also an egregious conversation. Oh, this Alabama team will beat the Detroit Lions when they were 0-16. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. That's a dumb conversation. That wouldn't happen. They wouldn't beat the worst NFL team.
Sure wouldn't.
It's not. It's just not. It wouldn't even be a competition. I don't know why we come up with those arguments, but
That
no.
is a stupid argument. There's not a chance.
No, it wouldn't happen at all. What's got me fired up? Had the last couple of days off. That was good. Got a lot of stuff done yesterday. Did some yard work. Was feeling good about that situation. It was a beautiful day. And then on, what was that, Wednesday, I got up in the morning and our neighbor was having some sort of like yard work done. And it wasn't yard work because they were literally like,
tearing up the yard.
Taking a jackhammer to our street. So I don't know if they had to get into the water line and then like go into her house for something, but they had her yard all messed up. They had the street blocked off and my car was in the parking lot, was in the driveway. And then our nanny's car was in the driveway because they had signs up that said, hey, this portion of the street's going to be blocked off. So she got blocked in. And I politely asked the gentleman when I went out there, I said, hey, do you guys mind if you can move these big trucks so we can, get her out of here? He was like, yeah, that sounds good. So it was a whole orchestra of moving things to be able to get her out of there. But Willie was the biggest fan of it in the entire world. I mean, it was 3 hours of him just standing in front of the window watching these guys work out here and drill and move and lay concrete and everything. Like, I'm not for a ton of construction being done on my road and blocking me in, but if it had to be a day in which they need to do it again, you're more than welcome to come back. Because he just spent, on
your day off.
Yes, 3+ hours just staring out the window, watching these construction workers. And he's looking out there, guys, and I'm like, those are guys. You are
dudes.
You are correct in that assessment. So that was pretty good. Didn't expect that to happen, but I was super pumped about that. Albert Breer of the MMQB, he's going to join the program. We'll break down last night's crazy inning in Baltimore with him next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Friday. Right now, we are still watching crews clear out an overnight shooting investigation on 161 on the northeast side. This is on the ramps from 161 westbound to 270 north and southbound. You'll have to use Morse Road to get to 270 from the northeast side. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors, voted by Columbus homeowners as the leading and most trusted window brand. Find out why at PellaColumbus.com or at their brand new Polaris showroom.
Football fans, meet your new full-service auto partner, Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. From Honda to Ford to Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, we have the perfect vehicle for every football fan. Stuck on the road? Our 24/7 towing and roadside assistance is just one call away, and our convenience service means no hassle, just great service. Plus, every vehicle purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. For unbeatable deals and unbelievable service, visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here for my friends at Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, but they are also much more than that. They help men and women who are experiencing things like low energy, low libido, muscle loss, and weight gain. Turn it all around. You can feel amazing and live better, just like I can. It can be delivered right to your door, which is tremendous. Semaglutide for weight loss and testosterone and hormone replacement therapy for so much more. I've been a customer for years, and it works. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Mark the Shark. The stats from Thursday Night Football are amazing. 89 passes in the game, 859 total yards, 10 touchdowns, and it all came down to a 2-point conversion in Baltimore. The Bengals blew a 21-7 lead, but got to within a point on Jamar Chase's third touchdown catch of the game with 38 seconds left. But rather playing for overtime, Cincinnati coach Zach Taylor went for 2 and the win. Joe Burrow's pass attempt failed, and the Ravens held on for a 35-34 victory. It's 7-1 Ohio State hosting 1-7 Purdue tomorrow at the Horseshoe. The Boilermakers are the last unranked team to defeat Ohio State. It came in Urban Meyer's last season as OSU coach 2018 when the Buckeyes lost to Purdue 49-20. Kickoff tomorrow is noon here on The Fan. The Sports Center is sponsored by Dormar Heating and Air Conditioning. Need an emergency repair? Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarheating.com.
Are you working? Because we barely are. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football and quiet quitting. The Fan. If Bobby and Beamer aren't talking about it, it's not worth your time anyway. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hour 3 of the program for us on a Football Friday. Austin Ward filling in for Bob today. You can always listen to the podcast, too. At a power-packed first 2 hours of the program. Rick Nash joined us in the 7 o'clock hour. Bobby joined us in the 7 o'clock hour. Albert Breer is about to join us here momentarily. Wow. And then 8:33 coming up here on a Football Friday, as is traditional. AJ Hawk, he's going to round out the program with us. So, I mean, just a star-studded cast, including you being in here.
Didn't even have to call that Austin Ward guy at 7:33 this week.
But we did play the Open. And Bob said he could be the mayor of Laramie, that he would want to vote there.
Well, let's move on.
You against Bob. I mean, you're the native son.
I think Bob would actually love Laramie. I think he should give it a try.
You know what they always say
it's
about
the speed of life for him.
You haven't lived until you visited Laramie, Wyoming.
I've said that for many years. That's why they appoint me to the Tourism Commission.
I'm going to go in January this year. Sounds like a lovely place to go.
Well, you can go to the Dome of Doom and catch some basketball there. That might be worth it.
Sounds great. Sounds terrific.
Don't go outside.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
What is the Dome of Doom?
The Dome of Doom?
Yeah.
It's where the Pokes play. The Arena Auditorium.
See, these are all things that I need to know.
Come on, man. When that place is rocking, there are not many better places to watch basketball. I'm serious. Why are you laughing? I'm dead serious.
I've never heard of it before today. It looks great.
Oh my gosh. It is great. Just a gigantic bowl inside a dome.
Walk down. I love walking down.
Oh, you go down
into the arena.
You have to go down.
Yeah. I love when you walk down into an arena.
You're going to have a difficult time watching the game if you have to walk up into the dome.
Yeah. I mean, that's on a Timmy Hall bucket list opportunity for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's an awesome arena. It's got, I think there was a time in college when Wyoming was still very good, playing at a high level. Had Utah in there, ranked matchups, like 15,000 people. I mean, it's awesome. It's one of the bigger basketball arenas in the country.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Dome of Doom, baby.
All right. I got to go. Got to make a trip. Right now, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check with our great friend of the MMQB. He is Albert Breer. Albert, have you ever heard of the Dome of Doom in Laramie, Wyoming for the Wyoming basketball team?
No, I have not. I've actually never been to Wyoming, so I have not heard of the Dome of Doom.
Oh, my gosh. All right.
So we got Austin.
Out there. I've always wanted to ski there. I came close. I skied at Big Sky, which, like, off the top of Big Sky, you can see Wyoming. It's, like, pretty close to
Yeah.
Jackson Hole. So I've always wanted to ski Wyoming, but no, I've never been there.
Albert, me, you, and Beam, we're going out. We're going to a basketball game at Wyoming. Let's do it.
I'm down. I'm down. Like, how far is Laramie from like the mountains, then?
Well, there's a small mountain you can ski in Laramie. It's not nearly as enjoyable as going to Jackson, but we could do that.
Okay. Well, maybe I would definitely tie the skiing part into it, but I'd be in if I could do that.
All right.
If I could do that.
Us three having a nice après ski. I mean, what sounds better than that? I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me, Albert. Last night, Thursday Night Football, was really like a pretty instant classic. 35-34, Baltimore gets it done. Lamar was terrific. Jamar was terrific. Joe continues to be terrific. But unfortunately, we have this situation again, which NFL refereeing kind of gets into the mix. I don't know whether you want to talk about the 2 holdings that weren't called on the Ravens on the last 2-point conversion, or maybe the hands in the face from Joe, but that's not the way that the NFL wants to end a game of that magnitude on what is supposed to be one of their premier products.
Yeah, and I look, like I'm beating a dead horse here now, but I felt like forever like that. Look, I mean, this is how simple you can make it. All of us sitting on our couch have the benefit of 12, 15, 18 crystal clear HD angles of every play of every game every week, right? Like, so we all have that sitting on our couch. And yet the people who are in charge of the game, that are running the game, we're not giving them the full benefit of that. Like, how, on what planet does that make sense? And I've heard people say, well, you want to have the human element of it, and why? Like the reason it wasn't that way in 1975 is because they didn't have the ability to do it technologically. So we have the ability to get these calls correct and fix things on the fly. Like, why wouldn't we want to do that? So I felt like all along, like, you can have a sky judge up there, you can empower the guy up there. And I've always felt like, as far as pace of play goes, like, it would be governed by the play clock. So if it's obvious, then you can get it fixed. If it's not as obvious, or if it's a 60-40 call, well, like, the play clock's not going to allow for you to change a play that quickly anyway, And I think that the replay assist is a step towards a sky judge. They don't want to call it that, but that's a step in that direction. But there are still flaws, and in this circumstance, it's if and this is the interesting part about it. If, like, that was, say, like the reverse happens, right? That, like, it's called a face mask and it's not, right? Like, the defensive player reaches up to Joe Burrow, say, grabs him by the shirt, and it looks like a face mask, but it really isn't. Well, replay assist can actually go and fix that, right? Like, so replay assist could call down to the head referee and say, now pick up the flag, he didn't have his face mask. But they can't do the reverse because they can't use replay assist to drop a flag. It's just, again, like, it's just a flawed thing that I don't understand why we can't just apply common sense here and use the replay assist and formalize it as a sky judge and just, empower the person up there to give the crew on the field the benefit of all the different technology that we have to get these things right.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals are going to be, or have been, upset about the pass interference in the end of the Chiefs game. But something like last night, I think what you're saying, Albert, like, a face mask, that's an objective thing. That is not a subjective call. That seems pretty easy. And you're talking about the sky judge. Like, is there actual conversation about moving to that somewhere in the league office, or just?
I mean, if you want to go back like 5 years, there was a point when Andy Reid and John Harbaugh and Bill O'Brien, these guys that were on what was called at the time the Madden Committee, and the Madden Committee still exists, but the Madden Committee, which is like a kind of a subcommittee of coaches, they pulled together to try to advocate for this and to advocate for a sky judge, and they weren't able to get there. Now, well, you can argue why. Is it because they don't want to pay another full-time official on every crew and have them up in the booth? Like, whatever the reasoning is, the owners resisted it and, put in half measures. But this is something that's been discussed for a while. This is something that I know the coaches are behind, and the coaches would really like to see instituted in the name of getting these things right, and I don't know, it's just an archaic way of looking at this, an archaic way of thinking that And I think part of the logic is you feel like the head referee on the field's got to be the guy in charge of the game. I get that, but, I think given their druthers, I think most of those guys who are in those head referee jobs, the white hats, I think they would like to have the resources to get these things right. Because, again, I have sympathy for the officials, too. Like, if you've ever seen an NFL game at field level, like, I don't know how anybody makes heads and tails of any of it, like, on the ground, Everything is moving so fast. It's moving fast on your TV. Imagine what it looks like when you're on the grass, So I think most of the coaches and even like a lot of the referees would be all for giving the crews this extra resource or these extra resources to try and get as many calls right as possible.
He is Albert Breer with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Second coaching job of the NFL season opened up this past week. Dennis Allen of the Saints being fired. Albert, that is now the Saints, and it is the Jets opened up. It's certainly not going to be the last. I don't know if the next one's going to come in season or whether or not that's going to happen up here on Black Monday. But if you compare these two teams, just the two openings right now, to you, better job moving forward. I know the Jets have Aaron Rodgers and that whole thing that's going on out there in New York. Saints kind of have a different blueprint. So what, to you as a prospective coach who's looking at this, what's the better gig right now?
Probably the Saints. I think they're both not great right now.
Yeah.
The Saints have some big picture decisions on how you want to move forward because of all of the mortgaging of contracts they've done and the cap charges that need to be waded through. And I think if somebody's coming in there anew, it probably would behoove them to jam on the reset button and have a year where you're just absorbing all the cap charges that have been accrued over the years and just sort of start over. And then the Jets have a roster that's aging in some spots too. I would say the advantage the Jets have is the Jets do have a crew of young players. Your Sauce Gardners, your Garrett Wilsons, your Quentin Williams is probably better than what the Saints have right now to build around. I still can't get myself past the ownership difference though. The Saints have an owner in Gail Benson who's been very supportive, who has shown a willingness to spend at a very high level and keep spending at a very high level. And, and she gets out of the way too. She lets her football people run the show. And, I know Bill Parcells used to say this to all of his young assistants as they were looking at head coaching jobs, just to be mindful that in every organization, there's one thing that you cannot change as the head coach. You come in as a new coach, you can change everything. You can change everything from, the weight room staff to the training room staff to the color of the shades. You know what I mean? You can change everything. You cannot change who the owner is. And, to me, that's the difference here is in the end, the fact that Woody Johnson is the owner has been a major factor in the failure of so many coaches and GMs with the Jets over the years. Whereas I feel with the Saints, Gail Benson has done a lot to enable success for her people. So I think that's why the Saints would be a more desirable job to most prospective coaching candidates right now.
Albert, I say this tongue in cheek, but with those jobs coming open, is this a little bit like the college football carousel where you got to make a move early so you can get involved with Mike Vrabel?
Or Belichick.
Yeah.
I think because of the rules in the NFL, that stuff's a little less relevant. It's not. No one's going to go hire Mike Vrabel today. You know what I mean? It's just not going to – it doesn't happen in midseason. I've heard people float those ideas, but that stuff's not going to happen until January anyway. I think the real benefit to firing a coach in midseason, if there is one, is, you do signal to guys like Mike Vrabel that our job is going to be open, and it gives that guy the opportunity to research it, right? You can start back channeling with those people. And you can start doing your background work on all coaching candidates without having to be secretive about it, and without having to go around people and because before coaches are fired, right? And I'm sure that happens at the college level too, where, you'll have the search firm hired and they'll quietly be doing their work and everything else. Well, you don't have to sneak around if you're the Jets or or the Saints now, like you can, start to vet your possibilities and start to, put resources into hitting the ground running when you get to January. So I'd say that's the main benefit. But I don't think it's like college that way where it's like anybody be worried about missing the boat on somebody like Belichick or Vrabel. If you've got like if you got a candidate you're targeting like that, I don't know if there's any real benefit to doing it before the middle of January anyway.
Albert, quickly before we get you out of here, compared to last week at this time, how much better are you feeling about Ohio State now than you were last week at 8:15 on Friday?
I may or may not have watched that last possession like 20 times. That last possession is everything that I've wanted for the last 5 years. I feel great about like the offensive line, like Donovan Jackson and Carson Hinsman coming out of witness protection. Like that to me, if they really have something there. I think that changes everything. And I'll tell you this too, like Will Howard's not perfect, but man, he's a baller, and you see the toughness, his willingness to run, and like just his like, I feel like in a program like that, a place like that, it's like kind of like the Cowboys, like you have to be cut out to be the quarterback or the head coach of a place like that. And I think part of it is accepting the expectations, you know what I mean? It's accepting and not feeling sorry for yourself, cause that's a temptation of some people to get in those jobs. They're like, oh, well, everybody's after me now, and this is an unfair standard. You have to, I think, to be successful in one of those spots, you have to really be willing to embrace all of it. And I've gotten that vibe, and it hasn't been everybody who's played quarterback at Ohio State, but you definitely got that vibe from Justin Fields back in the day. JT Barrett, embodied that. He embraced the expectations, and it certainly feels to me, again, like, while Will Howard's not perfect, he's tough, he's a gamer, and he's very much embracing everything that comes with being the Ohio State quarterback, which I think will give him a great chance when the pressure amps up here in a few weeks.
Absolutely, it should. Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much for hopping on with us here. Have a great Friday. Enjoy the weekend, buddy, and we'll check in again soon, all right?
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too. There he goes, our good friend Albert Breer with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Span Guest Hotline. Speaking of the Buckeyes, they did the little things right against Penn State. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are still watching crews clear up an incident on the ramps from 161 to I-270 north and southbound. Be careful as you commute over there. Other than that, everything moving along with no major issues. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Prime Sports. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100.
Okay, name? Occupation? Great, you get a brand new Kia. For less than lunch, under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
Is that a turkey?
Of course, we're talking turkey. With a vet pricing and the credit approve-a-thon.
Wow, and new Kias are less than lunch?
Yes, under $5 a day. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorrento LX. All three under $5 a day.
Wow, that's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
He just got an EV6 with 0% financing.
Lucky goose.
Turkey.
Turkey, right. But I'd never get approved.
If you've got a job, you ride.
You guys are great.
Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
GreatLakesKia.com.
You're such a ham.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. Choose from classic 3-cheese, pepperoni, or extreme meat pizza. Save big with the $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 1/7/25. See app for full terms.
You want a sub freshly sliced to order? You go to Jersey Mike's. You want the perfect radio idea? You go to me. Like this. I'm a lone ninja warrior. By night, I glide unseen across the rooftops, watching my enemies from the shadows. By day, I go to Jersey Mike's, watching someone freshly slice my sub. My blade is called Shadow. His blade is a Berserba brand meat slicer. Clearly, I have much to learn about this land. Freshly sliced just for you. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
At Diamond Cellar, we've been crafting love stories for over 77 years. Trust, quality, and always the guaranteed best price. Visit us today to experience the Diamond Cellar difference. Stop into our showroom on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Active military or veteran planning your next career move? Start at Columbus State Community College. When companies like Intel need to fill thousands of new jobs in Central Ohio, they hire Columbus State graduates. Our engineering technology programs equip you with skills and experience to launch a high-tech career in Columbus's fast-growing fields. And our veteran services team will help you maximize your benefits and connect to a supportive campus community. Take the first step. Apply at cscc.edu/engineering tech.
Would you believe that giraffes are 30 times more likely to get hit by lightning than people? Or that a single cloud can weigh 550 tons or more? Sounds fake, right? How about an insurance company that actually treats you right? Sounds unbelievable, but it's true. NJM Insurance is proud to put policyholders first. And they don't use jingles or mascots either. Don't believe me? Well, guess what? Everything in this commercial is true and approved by the legal department. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Visit njm.com for a quote.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Tomorrow.
Ohio's public educators are dedicated professionals who are committed to helping all students reach their full potential. No exceptions. Let's make sure educators have a seat at the table when policy decisions are being made, and trust the professionals to do the jobs they were trained to do. Because in Ohio, public education matters.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Beautiful day out there today. Highs in the low 60s. Clear but cold tonight as we drop down to 39. Partial sunshine on your Saturday. We will see increasing clouds late in the day. High 61. Rain and wind on your Sunday with a high of 65. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Miss a minute of the show?
Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Type in Morning Juice and subscribe.
This is Morning Juice.
Coming up here, 8:33. AJ Hawk, he's going to join the program. First, let me tell you about this. You can join us Tuesday, November 12th. That's just in a couple of days' time for the Make a Difference Gala at High Bank Distillery over here in Grandview. It's bourbon, food, and fun with Brady Quinn, Bobby Carpenter, Jake Ballard, Dane Sanzenbacher, Sanzenbacher, Bo Bishop. The gala is going to benefit the Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Get your tickets today at 971thefan.com. 21 or older, please drink responsibly. Austin, we were listening to this in the 6 o'clock hour. Let's fire this back up. Ryan Day having his coaches show yesterday. Thought this was good stuff from Ryan Day, talking about the transition, and obviously it was a big talking point for us, how Donovan Jackson was going to do at that left tackle position. He swings from left guard to left tackle. Carson Hinsman slots in from previously last season playing center. He goes into the left guard spot. But here's Ryan Day just talking about Donovan Jackson in the week that he had against Penn State and how he hopes he sees continued improvement coming up tomorrow against Purdue.
And he stepped up in a big way. And, we knew there was going to be just some times where we had to put him out there against them, and we didn't want to be in that situation. And looking back, but when you're chipping, you're giving something to get something. That's just how it goes. And we tried to help him the best we could with it. I thought he battled his tail off in that game. And so, now, like you said, playing in space is a little bit different. We've talked about cutting his weight just a little bit to be able to move his feet a little bit more. It's a different position. But he has the athleticism. He does have the length to play it. So watching him, like, he can play tackle. It's not like we're just taking a guard and trying to put a square peg in a round hole or vice versa. I mean, he can do it, but it's a different skill set. It's a different approach. You get like guys with more length, like you said, a 6'6" guy coming at you, trying to get his hands on you. So the more he does it, the more he's going to be able to feel more comfortable doing it. And we'll continue to try to give him help. But I think the more he does it, the more you're going to see a high level of play because he did it in a really difficult situation. So the more he does it, the better it'll be.
Probably the most difficult situation on the schedule. I mean, you walk into there, literally into the Lions' Den. It's 111,000 people. You're going to be starting from Jump Street, so it's not going to be a situation in which we saw a little bit earlier in the season where Josh Simmons goes down and then Zen Michalski has to fill in for him for the remainder of the game. I mean, you got a whole week to be able to focus on what needs to happen. And so you go in, couldn't have picked a better start for Penn State. That place was rocking. It was a loud environment. And Donovan Jackson passed every single test that you could possibly ask for. He got beat by Abdul Carter sometimes. That's going to happen. The kid's an All-American. I was going to go on and be a first-round NFL draft pick. Like, that's going to happen more times than not. I don't care how good the left tackle is. But he played really well. Now, what you're hoping in these next two games is that's not a finished product, and you see the continuing ability for that production to rise by the time that you hit the Indiana-Michigan games.
The box that was checked that is most important is that Ohio State won the game. And so Donovan Jackson did not do anything that cost Ohio State. Carson Hinsman did not do anything that cost Ohio State. And yes, there were some reps that you go, ooh, that's rough. He's going against a really talented front, not just Carter, but some of the other looks and blitzes and aggression that Penn State shows. That's a really good team and a really good defense, led by their defense, certainly more than the offense. So that was an adverse situation, and it was a hostile place, and against a matchup that, frankly, Donovan Jackson is not favored to win that. Most tackles aren't, let alone somebody making their starting debut at the college level doing that. So they got through that, and now you have Purdue and Northwestern for the next 2 weeks where you get to grow and learn and get better, maybe get more comfortable before what you have in the last 2 weeks with the Hoosiers and the Wolverines. So these are not the games that are going to test as much as Penn State, but the fact that you got through it and then you got that box checked in the win column, that really bodes well for the future. And I mentioned it. It's not just when Ryan Day's talking about helping them. I think schematically they did a lot of things that helped put Donovan Jackson in a spot where he and Carson Hinsman could both thrive, whether that was some of the speed option, the different misdirections and counters. Like, that's going to have to continue. And it's also one thing that didn't happen against Nebraska before when Zen Michalski was out there. And just, I think that was the frustrating part, is like you just knew that Ohio State could do more. And they could help the tackle in other ways rather than just trying to line it up and play the most boring version of the Ohio State offense. That's going to have to continue, especially in the last 2 weeks of the regular season.
We know that Quinshawn and Travion, probably the best tandem backs in America. Don't just look at their stats when they come out of this game. Look at the little things that they do right. And Ryan Day was talking about their blocking abilities, which set up this team to have a big win in Happy Valley.
There was some blitz pickups that were tremendous. Again, 32 was just strong in protection, but then to see him, and the sick thing was, we ended up fumbling the ball on the 2-yard line, but the block he made on that, I mean, he flattened the guy, and it's just, again, a mindset, same foot, same shoulder, and just finishing those things and playing really well without the ball in your hand. And I think both Travion and Quinshawn have taken pride in that this season.
When you're watching the game tomorrow or next Saturday against Northwestern, don't just watch them. Don't just watch the ball. Take a second, watch those guys on blitz pickups, or watch like a designed Will Howard run. Watch what those guys do.
It'll happen tomorrow, I guarantee it, because it's happened every single week. Yeah. Those guys you already know that they run physically and violently, but they have other outlets for that, and that's putting dudes in the ground with both blitz pickups or going out there as a lead blocker, which, again, that's some of the schematic things and differences that can help the offensive line, is that these guys are willing to stick their nose in there, do some dirty work, and I think it's really impressive to watch both of them work and what Carlos Lachlan has done with them. I mean, you're not going to find better fundamental run blocking and pass blocking from running backs than what Ohio State's shown this year.
AJ Hawk, he joins us on a Football Friday next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic
from the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Be careful as crews clear out an incident from overnight on the ramps from 161 westbound to 270 on the northeast side. Other than that, everything moving along with no major issues. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Fall is here and so are cooler temps. And are you craving some slow roasted turkey and dressing yet? Me? Bobby Carpenter. I love Thanksgiving. I just don't love it at Thanksgiving time. I love it all year long. And so the more I can get it, the better it is. So at Bob Evans, you don't have to wait to Thanksgiving to be able to enjoy their delicious turkey that's been slow roasted for 6 hours. Their turkey and dressing dinner plate is available any day for just $8.99. Or you can even try the turkey and dressing family meal to go at bobevans.com.
Leaves changing and the nighttime air is cool. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace. Protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns. Call 614-232-2222 now to schedule.
Get everything for your next project today at Menards and save big money. We carry everything to help you breathe easier. Allergen air filters help prevent seasonal allergy symptoms and improve your indoor air quality by capturing microparticles while allowing maximum airflow. Save big on allergen air filters when you shop at Menards. View the weekly flyer and all of our great deals happening this week on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Do your good-looking shoes hurt and you don't want to wear ugly shoes? At the Good Feet store, we can help you wear your heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Common Man and T-Bone here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Bone, did you know the sportsbook is now called ESPN Bet?
I did, and you can watch your favorite teams on the biggest screens, place your bets, and grab some wings with an ice-cold pint.
Maybe you're too boring and don't want to go to the casino. Good news. You can keep the action going and place your bets on the go with the ESPN Bet app.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook is your 50-yard line ticket to odds, point spreads, and over-unders.
It's the place to be. Losers must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Did you know we have another station? More Buckeyes, more play-by-play, more everything.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2 or listen on the Fan app.
Your home for almost too much football. The Fan.
This Sunday, November 10th at 8 p.m., 7 Central, the epic return of Yellowstone. America's #1 show is on Paramount Network. What will become of the Dutton family? Can they protect the Yellowstone Ranch? How far will Beth and Rip go to save the family legacy? Generations of blood have led up to this, and nothing will prepare you for it. The epic return of Yellowstone, this Sunday, November 10th at 8, 7 Central, only on Paramount Network.
Football is built on tradition, and so is the Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. With a lifetime powertrain warranty on every vehicle purchase, you know you're getting a relationship that's built to last. Need service? Our Carvenience service takes care of everything, from picking up your vehicle to dropping it off when it's done, leaving you with a rental car in between. And with 4 dealerships and a collision center, Hinderer Motor Company is your one-stop shop for all things automotive. Visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Panic and passion. Is that a motivational quote or the title of an adult romance novel? You're listening to Morning Juice.
You know, the NBA has been back in action for a couple of weeks now, and FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, wants you to catch all the action. Right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do to catch every tip-off and buzzer beater. I like the technical fouls. Maybe the 40-point performances. All you have to do is place any $5 bet on the NBA to get 3 months of NBA League Pass Beamer, and it's all courtesy of FanDuel. Maybe I could turn your mic on.
I was going to say, now that sounds better. I was trying to say something over here, and I wasn't getting any. Wasn't getting any voice.
He was muting my laugh at the "I like technical fouls."
Yeah, I know. I did. That was good. Everybody likes a technical foul. Just visit FanDuel.com/juice to make every moment more this season. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 and older, present in Ohio. And after 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds, terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Sharky didn't even know the NBA season started. The Cavs still have 0 losses in their column. So, people are just waking up. They don't even know that.
They say the season doesn't really start till the Cavs lose their first game.
That's correct. That's the wise old saying. Let's check in with this fine American.
A man with many career achievements. Leading tackler in Centerville football history. Leading tackler in Green Bay Packers history. Still afraid of Larry Knopfsinger. And the crowning achievement, the third member of the Island Boys, A.J. Hawk.
Sponsored by FanDuel, the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice.
As we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, checking with our great friend. He is A.J. Hawk. Age, question for you. Centerville's playing Springboro tonight. It is Brent Ullery, the son of Ron Ullery, taking on each other. Ron's coaching for Springboro now. Brent's coaching for Centerville. Who do you have in the battle for the Iron Throne tonight?
Man, I mean that's really puts you in a tough spot right there. But I gotta always go for the Elks, of course. But Ron Ullery, I can never say I'll never say anything bad about that guy. I have so much respect for him, but Brent as well. But yeah, hopefully Centerville wins a nice, close, hard-fought battle. That would be my wishes if I could pick the outcome.
We were talking to your brother this summer when he was in studio, and we were obviously talking about that. And he goes, I go out to dinner with Coach Ullery from time to time, and he still scares me. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. I share that sentiment with him. Does he still scare you?
Absolutely, yeah. I got to talk to him for like an hour at my brother's one of his book launch things, and man, like he's just perfectly dressed, had a sweet sport coat, and like he's always been Ron, and he's always been so detail oriented and so he's a special human. But yeah, absolutely. The whole time I'm just wondering, like, okay, what does he need me to do? Like, what can I do I don't want him to be upset. I want this guy to respect what I'm doing. And yeah, he's special, man. He's awesome.
AJ, we talked to Bob an hour ago. He was on the way up to South Bend and to see Marcus. It's a lovely November weekend in college football. What's on tap for you, though?
Well, I'm driving to Indy right now, and then I'm actually going to be staying. We got a little football. My sixth grader's got a football tournament in Indy, so I will be there playing, I think, a couple games on Saturday, 1, maybe 2 games on Sunday. So, yeah, it's going to be a good football weekend, not only to watch, but also for my sixth grader to actually play.
How's the sixth grade team doing?
It's pretty good. I mean, we'll see how it goes. It's a tournament where they put together people from the Dublin team to go and take on these other teams, I guess, like this, or these travel teams from different states and kind of all over. So I've never been to it. This is our first year doing it. So it should be interesting. It should be fun, man. Like there's going to be I'm sure we're going to run into some crazy competition, but it'll be good to see how the boys get tested and how they respond.
Is this a full contact? Is this a flag situation, or is this like a 7-on-7 just wearing like shells?
Oh, no. We would not be driving to Indy to be doing 7-on-7. This is full contact. There's no targeting. There's no rules, nothing. It's all out. It's like jailbreak. But no, it's full contact football. There's still the normal rules and everything. But now it's our first time doing kickoff return, punts. Like we're doing special teams as well, so that should be fun to watch.
Are you overseeing the special teams?
No, I'm doing whatever they need. We got plenty of coaches on staff. I'm one of the guys that helps out and comes to practice and will be in the sidelines for games and helps out where I can. But they got it pretty well under control. But I'm trying to help out with special teams. Basically, I'm just telling kids and my son, hey, head up when you're running down, head on a swivel because you will get knocked out cold because they don't know what it's like to be running down on punt return or kickoff. and having guys trying to pick them off and headhunt them. And I think we're going to see some of that this weekend.
So he's AJ Hawk with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Bob and Schlegs had Tress on their podcast, on their show that they do every day. And I know that you join those guys quite frequently. And Bob was talking about how Tress was going up and he was doing something in Toledo, but he was down here in Columbus, and then he was going back to Youngstown like to end the night. So it was really like a tour of the state. Basically how he's doing his own podcast just to help out people. And like that's what he's doing in his retirement. If you were to call Tress like right now and say, Coach, we need some help, special teams coordinator for our 6th grade guys in this tournament. They've never done it before. Do you think Tress would come in and help you guys out with that?
I do. Yeah, I think wherever you were, too, wherever I was in the country or anybody, I wouldn't even have to be me or like someone that directly played for them. You could tell them, hey, like my cousin's coaching a team out in Wyoming, and they're really having trouble figuring out their special teams, especially their punt team. He'd probably find all of a sudden he'd show up there tomorrow. Like he loves it. He loves people, and he would definitely help out.
I love how organically all the Wyoming references are being made while I'm on the show today. AJ, this weekend, so, some years Purdue might get Ohio State's attention more than others. It varies over the years, but there are times that they come in wounded like this in Ohio State. It might be difficult to get the attention of a team. What's the challenge when you're in that locker room, you're going into the horseshoe, it's a game that Ohio State, you're playing, you should win it easily. How do you bring the juice for a game like this?
Yeah, sometimes those are I think at least as coaches, the coaches are the most nervous in these kind of weeks, and they will work the team and be on them harder than they are for other games because, it's a natural kind of trap game or a natural game where people expect you to win. What's the spread, 50-something, I'm sure. So it's one of those games where you're expected to win like that, and it's almost like, hey, this team can't even make they shouldn't even make one play against you guys, which we all know that's unrealistic. Like they're all on scholarship. They have great players as well. Their season's not going well. So you got to find a way, bring your own juice. I know the crowd will be ready as well, but you got to jump on them early. I think when you give teams like that, when you give anyone hope early, they can really gain a lot of confidence, and then crazy things can tend to happen. So find a way to jump on them early and then keep your foot on the gas.
Hey, before we get you out of here, let's take you back to last weekend, Ohio State versus Penn State, 20-13 victors. How much did you love the goal line stand? Follow it up by just killing the game off by running the ball in the last 5 minutes and change of that football game.
Oh, that was the best. That's why I loved seeing Ryan and Chip Kelly in the sidelines when they saw each other after the game, walking into the tunnel, how excited they were. It was great to see them excited and enjoying a victory like that, because it's true. Like when you can run the ball, when the other team knows you're going to run the ball, knows you have to run the ball, that's a big deal, especially a team like Penn State that's very, very good. But the goal line stand was awesome. I mean, to go into somebody's house and do that, I think that builds so much confidence for your team and for everyone else on the staff as well. And then when you can, we shuffle O-linemen around, have guys playing positions they never really played before, and you can still find a way to run the ball like that. That does a lot for your team, honestly. I think it does a lot for your confidence and shows that you can win in many different ways.
Does Pat know about the FAC, and will you be bringing the FAC from Dublin to Indy this afternoon?
He will be at LSU, but he doesn't really, I don't think he knows too much about the FAC, but the good thing is, we got a bunch of Dublin people, a bunch of Columbus people going to Indy, so I'm sure tonight it will happen. We have some weigh-ins. We got to weigh in tonight because I think it's a 130-pound limit to run the ball. So after weigh-ins tonight,
IPAs.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, it'll be fun for sure.
AJ, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much for hopping on with us. Have a great weekend over there in Indy. I hope your guys figure out the kickoff and punts and everything, and we'll check in again next Friday, all right?
All right, appreciate it, guys. See ya.
There goes AJ Hawk with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Good stuff from him as always. We'll do 3 keys to a Buckeye victory next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Be careful as crews clear out an incident from overnight on the ramps from 161 westbound to 270 on the northeast side. Other than that, everything moving along with no major issues. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan traffic.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING. Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, save big on 6 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties are just $2.99 each with your card and digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Thanksgiving can be stressful when you're shopping on a budget. Let Family Dollar help you do more this year with amazing deals on the supplies you need for a great turkey day, from prep to cleanup. See how you could save on Thanksgiving staples like canned soups and veggies, or essentials such as disposable plates and utensils, trash bags, storage supplies, and more. For even greater savings, download the Family Dollar app, clip available offers, and redeem at checkout. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
At Baths R Us, we're terrible roofers. We stink at installing siding. And don't ever call us for your kitchen remodel. But if you want a stunning, beautiful bathroom makeover in just 2 or 3 days, now that's when you want to call us. See, unlike most contractors these days, we offer only one service, bathroom remodeling. We don't spread ourselves thin by doing roofing or siding and a bunch of other stuff. Nope. At Baths R Us, we dedicate every company resource into mastering the craft of bath transformations. It's why we're the Midwest's biggest 5-star family-owned bathroom company. And it's why we have the happiest customers. Just check out our Google reviews. Baths R Us. We're terrible roofers, but we're awesome bathroom remodelers. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Sunday Night Football on the Fan. Catch the Lions as they battle C.J. Stroud and the Texans. Live coverage starts Sunday at 7:30.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Hear the game on ESPN Columbus 1460 AM and our HD2.
Black Friday is here at your local Ram dealer. And right now, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $499 a month for 42 months with $4,082 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 11/12/24.
This Sunday, November 10th at 8 p.m., 7 Central, the epic return of Yellowstone. America's #1 show is on Paramount Network. What will become of the Dutton family? Can they protect the Yellowstone Ranch? How far will Beth and Rip go to save the family legacy? Generations of blood have led up to this, and nothing will prepare you for it. The epic return of Yellowstone, this Sunday, November 10th at 8, 7 Central, only on Paramount Network.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA, and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks. And truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us, and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654, or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
It is going to be a beautiful Friday. Sunshine, high 63. Partly cloudy tomorrow, high 61. If you're heading off to the OSU game at the Shoe, it should be a beautiful day for that. Rain moves in on Sunday with a high of 65. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Beam has a baby face. Bobby has soft hands. That should not stop you from listening to this show. This is Morning Juice.
We're here on the Juice, brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com. Austin Ward finishing things up here on a Friday. Uncle Bo and the boys are going to be up next. It is a football Friday, so Tim May, he's going to be in with Bo. How about Dom coming in yesterday and doing a show with Bo yesterday?
I was stunned. I didn't know that still happened.
Yeah. Did the full show.
That was great.
Full tour of those guys yesterday.
Boy.
It's the first time I ever met Bo. He was with... Did I meet Bo? I'm trying to think. Back when I was at Ohio State, I was working... Yeah, I think the first time I ever met Bo, I was working in the range hut during the Memorial Tournament, and he was out there asking a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
We hit it off like that.
I mean, an all-time legend.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
They might do that. They should do that more often.
They should. They should do that more often. Timmy May's going to be with them coming up today and coming up here at 11:33 this morning. As always, they're going to talk in with Doug Lesmerises. So they got that. That's
the King of the North.
The King of the North. King of the North. College football podcast. Love the King of the North. It's better than that.
Can't beat it.
No, it's a great name for
It's a perfect year for it, too. Because
it's terrific.
Because the South and all of the obsession with the SEC, it's not the year for it. Turns out a lot of that was just built on Nick Saban's back.
Yeah. How do you think that game's going to go tomorrow in Death Valley? Have you been to a night game at LSU?
I've been to a 3:30 CBS banger at LSU, which Tennessee was one play away from pulling the upset in Death Valley, which is so loud and just one of the best college atmospheres that you're ever going to find. Derek Dooley decided that he would try and get his goal line stand to pull off the upset with 13 players on the field. Not 12, 13. Turns out you can't do that. LSU gets an untimed down, and they go on and they punch it in for the touchdown and win.
That's tough.
So a lot of folks had been trying to leave because they didn't know Tennessee's madness going on. Tennessee's celebrating the win. There's people all over the field. Like, well, hold on a second. You're not actually allowed to use 2 extra defenders.
That's actually against the rules. So now we get an untimed down.
And 11 on 11, LSU was able to, they were able to punch it in.
Where does that rank for you, game day atmosphere? I mean, I know that you've been around a lot. You've obviously been in the Big Ten for a long time. You were in the SEC before that. You've been to a lot of cool different environments. Like, where is a Death Valley rank for you?
Yeah, I think overall experience, LSU is number one.
Okay.
When some of the stadium rankings and difficulty places to play came out for the college football game over the summer, and LSU was not number one, I was pretty surprised.
It was number one.
Texas A&M, which I mocked endlessly, and then they immediately changed, like, oh wait, if anyone can go in and win at Texas A&M, it must not be that difficult to go there.
And then Notre Dame did it straight out of the chutes this year.
Yep. So I think LSU is the best that I've been in. I've been at whiteouts at Penn State. It's loud, it's raucous, it's great. The issues I have with Penn State are before and after the game.
That's your own personal
No, I mean, it's for everybody. It's not easy for anyone to get there, and I think that's
part of the fun.
It's not part of the fun. It definitely isn't for me. But I do think that LSU's number one, Penn State is number two. Oregon really surprised me. It was great. They also have issues getting people in and out of the stadium. So I'm going to try and remove all that stuff from the factor, but I'm lucky that I get to cover games in the Horseshoe almost every Saturday, 80% of the time, whatever it is, that's how the schedule shakes out, because it is special. But Neyland Stadium is also in the top 5, so I've been really lucky to cover games and be in those cathedrals of college football for a long time.
Ryan Field was number one for me.
Yeah, it's rest in peace to a real one.
It's no longer there. The new one's going to be sweet. The old one, we got locked in one of the towers during our student broadcast, and someone had to come and get us. We had to walk all the way up. It was just a storage unit. Like, there were football bags and pads all over the place. There were old chain down markers from the 50s that were just up there. And then someone let us up there, and there was a gate that you go through, and then someone tried to go down before the game started, and it was locked. It's just a padlock in there. Someone please help us. We're currently locked in the North Tower of Ryan Field.
That place was such a dump.
It was not great.
I do have a prediction for the worst college football atmosphere that I'm ever going to be in, and that's a baseball stadium.
Come on, it looks cool.
It's not going to look cool.
No, it does. I saw the video yesterday. I'm like, you know what? It's going to be a cool experience for Ohio State fans if you go there. For everybody watching on TV and actually playing there, that is dumb.
And they already had, like, I know that they've had meetings already, like the Northwestern ops people with Ohio State to prepare them for next week, because they're having to do it a week and a half, 2 weeks in advance, because it's not set up for football.
We're focusing on Purdue, all right?
But they have to plan ahead because it's going to be such an absolute disaster. Like, where the locker room, like, they're saying, well, maybe you can meet the media in the dugout. What? No. Have you seen Ohio State's media?
Can Ryan Day do a baseball coach and put on full pads like the baseball coaches do?
Yeah, he should. Like, they're not sure fully where you can dress the full football team. And they've had these games there before. I'm like, okay.
All right, before we get out of here, do 3 keys to a Buckeye victory. Number 1 for me, continued evolution of this rebuild offensive line. Want to see improvement out of Donovan on that left tackle spot. And then Carson Hinsman, he had a great opportunity on last Saturday against Penn State. He took that. He took the reins. I'm going to say that. Continued development offensive line.
Yeah, and I think that's, for me, they go hand in hand, which is putting the offensive line in position to succeed. And that relies on Chip Kelly and Ryan Day continuing to expand the playbook. Like, we know that they can do more. We know that they don't have to muddle their way through a performance like they did a couple weeks against Nebraska. You have the ability to do whatever you can possibly dream up on offense. And in some ways, it might be more of a necessity because Donovan Jackson is not playing in his natural position and Carson Hinsman has moved as well. So make it easier for him. Scheme things up, take advantage of your skill position players, and let them cook.
I'll say key number 2 for me. Let's get JJ let's get the wide receiver some touches. All right. Let's have a big game through the air. And then third and finally, Bob said this a little bit earlier when we joined us. Again, you can always listen to the podcast after we're done, shortly after the show ends. Sometimes you need to treat the opposition like the opposition. Sometimes you're going to feel bad about it. Treat Purdue like they're Purdue. Get out of here unscathed. Let's move on with the season.
Yep. And one way that you can do that is by getting that start fast and then pulling. Like, a key to this is more of a key for the season. Like, get Tyleik Williams out of the game as soon as you can. Lathan Ransom, get him out of the game as soon as you can. Even Will Howard, Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson, get them out of the game as quick as you can. So that involves starting fast, but you also have to be shorthanded tacklers. Just don't let anything fluky happen. Don't let the big plays happen if you're Ohio State because you didn't get somebody on the ground when you had a chance.
You got a score prediction for me?
I believe 48-3 will be the final.
48-3 you're going with?
Yeah.
I'll go 56-7.
Love it.
56-7, 48-3. Austin, I had so much fun today. What do you say we reconvene sometime in the future if they allow us? You good with that?
I would love to. In fact, I'm going to be in here in 10 hours.
You're on with Tim tonight. You just love this place so much you can't leave. Everybody have a great weekend. Uncle Bo and the boys up next. We are back live on Monday morning to break everything down. Have a good one. Talk to you then. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, things moving along with no major problems. The northeast side at the 161-270 split is back open after being closed for a long time this morning, but you are clear to travel over there and no major problems that we're tracking anywhere else across the metro. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
This is a fan action update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. A few college football games today. Wake Forest is a 7.5-point home dog to Cal. Iowa on the road at UCLA is a 5.5-point favorite. Memphis is a touchdown favorite over Rice, and San Diego State's a 2.5-point favorite over New Mexico. For your Prime Sports action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
The holidays are right around the corner. Get a holiday loan from BMI Federal Credit Union and choose a loan amount from $1,000 to $5,000. Visit BMIFCU.org/holiday loan for details.
At Meijer, we know you're busy making those holiday shopping lists.
And checking them twice.
So we're making it easier to save with Santa Bucks.
Oh, that's nice.
Clip and save up to $50 on gifts for them, and maybe slip something in your stocking, too.
You deserve it.
Aw, thanks, Santa. Because holiday savings are good, but saving more with Santa Bucks?
Well, that's a good deal better.
Clip and save up to $50 and bring more good to the season with Santa Bucks on Meijer.com or in the Meijer app. Exclusions apply.
For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. Choose from classic 3-cheese, pepperoni, or extreme meat pizza. Save big with a $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 1/7/25. See app for full terms.
The Central Ohio leader in roof repair and replacement is Roof Revivers. With over 350 5-star reviews on Google, Roof Revivers is committed to repairing roofs first before replacing them. If your roof needs repaired, visit Roof Revivers online at roofrevivers.com. Roof Revivers, we fix leaky roofs.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
November is Veterans Month, and Awaken 180 is honoring all active duty veterans and spouses with 15% off your entire program, plus the same free support for life all clients receive. Celebrate Veterans Month with 15% off at awaken180weightloss.com.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866